Long idling hours in class finally came to an end. Time to go home and chill. Huh? Are those thugs threatening a girl? Picking on the weak? Such cowards. Oops, she saw me. Now they're all looking at me. As a Muay Thai prodigy, I most definitely will run as fast as I can from danger. It's not me. My legs have a mind of their own. Besides, I stood no chance against those big, scary guys. I might get myself hurt if I tried to help. Then she'd call me a jumpy idiot. Yet some part of me still wished I could do something. While I was pondering from afar, a guy charged at them out of nowhere, then knocked them all out. Looked like he knew martial arts. Like me. I'm Jamie, by the way, and my story's absolutely normal. Please like and subscribe. I didn't expect to see my dad home this early.
Sweetie, you're back already. How's your day?
Hi, Dad. All good. It's been just me and my dad since my mom passed away when I was little. He's the best dad I could ask for, but he's shunned by this entire town. He's one of the firefighters who reported to a tragic fire accident around a year ago. They managed to save many lives, but unfortunately there were casualties. After that, the fire department became the town's scapegoat just because they couldn't save everyone. However, I could see better than anyone how much my father had sacrificed. He always covered up his left arm and told me not to tell anybody about it. He considered it part of his job and still felt guilty about that tragedy. More importantly, he taught me to be willing to help others no matter what. Little Jamie did listen to him and was always helpful, but no matter how hard we tried, we still had to endure the townsfolk's woulda, coulda, shoulda nonsense. So I now live by my own rule. Don't be a hero. Hey, it helped Jesse Eisenberg's character survive Zombieland, so it'd surely get me through my life. And so the happy little girl now wears a permanent scowl on her face like her armor. Thanks to my tough exterior, no one would ever pick a fight with me, or speak badly about me, at least not to my face. Side effects included having no friends, getting pushed around by teachers, and being brushed off most of the time. You know, the usual cold shoulder. The next day, I was enjoying a good old boring normal day when I suddenly was summoned to the principal's office. For bullying a fellow student? What? Turns out, the damsel in distress yesterday, Betty, reported everything to the principal while conveniently placing me in that gang. I tried explaining myself, but my efforts seemed to be futile.
Can't say I'm surprised. Like father, like daughter, I am seriously concerned about my students' safety, especially since street violence reigns in this area lately. Such terrible behavior is even more serious coming from you than those imbeciles.
Good heavens, I hadn't even touched a single strand of hair on anyone's head. Poof, she obviously is blaming me simply because I didn't help. But speaking the truth would be like adding fuel to the fire.
I believe the proper punishment for you is immediate suspension for 2 weeks.
No, sir, I can't be their accomplice because I was gonna start a self-defense club for girls. Just like you, I worry a great deal about multiple attacks recently. Therefore, I want to help them be prepared. I was trying to recruit Betty, but she was surrounded by so many of them while I was all alone. That's like fighting a losing battle. I actually ran away so I could, report them to you. Betty must have mistaken me for one of them. My gibberish speech went on for a good while before he finally let me go. I had to bluff my way through his many questions. Where does the club take place? When? How many members? And since he said he'd come by sometimes, I actually had to create a self-defense club and begin recruiting. The first day of the club, only a few girls came. Fine, I don't have much care for this stuff anyway. It's merely an excuse for me to be let off the hook. I grabbed the 2 tallest girls, then asked them to demonstrate a couple moves so the rest could follow their lead. When an assailant strikes, cross your wrist to trap his arms. Jump, and boom! Boom. Yeah, boom! Did I do that right, Jamie? Jamie? Yes, that's it. Don't be lazy, okay? Then I got back to scrolling on my phone and saw that Betty had gone public about the incident. Even someone as indifferent as me could see how much sympathy and attention Betty got after that. Her story's influence went beyond the internet when our school launched a No Bullies Allowed campaign and chose her to be the spokesperson. However, they could only propose outdated and ineffective measures, like always traveling in groups, bringing pocket knives or pepper spray, or giving in to not get any serious injury. None of which really helped, and more students fell victim. A few days later, right before English class, I saw the Good Samaritan that day. He's Aaron, and transferred from another school in the area. Come to think of it, he's quite a heartthrob, which got all the girls all riled up. Do you have a girlfriend? What's your type?
Sexy, cool, nerdy.
I know, nice and sweet?
Yes. Oh, Mr. Bernardi's here.
As usual, Mr. Bernardi began the lesson with a pop quiz. Today's topic was Hamlet. Okay, I knew this one.
What's the play about, Teddy? A guy named Hamlet? Good, B+. Any other idea? Jamie?
The play works on many levels. It's about Prince Hamlet's family conflict, their politics, how he can't make up his mind about duties, moral codes, and…
Stop! F. You're reading too much into it.
Well, I should have seen that coming.
You suck. What did you say, Aaron Taylor? I said, aw, shucks.
Wow, this guy's so much more than just a pretty face. When class was over, I came to thank him and even got his socials. He's a super handsome guy with a voice of an angel who defended me. I think I got, well, you know. Let's see what his social says about his type. Oh, Betty seemed to be gaining more and more support, huh? I guess people have more compassion for delicate little flowers like her. Wow, nice. I had zero chance then. Suddenly, I heard a commotion outside, then peeked out to see my father dealing with rude neighbors. Man, I can't live the life of the local doormat anymore. If so, I had to change first. I can be like her. All right, starting today, call me Dainty Jamie? Ugh, I'll figure something out. But my life will surely be different. Aaron, your girlfriend is coming. I'll certainly need a new look to go with my new personality. The Princess Diary would be the perfect tutorial. First, I have to look like a princess. So I replaced my sneakers, hoodies, and t-shirts with high heels, short skirts, and all things pink and glittery. Of course, cute accessories are a must. Ting! But it would be lying if I said this new style was comfy. This morning, my long hair got caught in a keychain on my backpack. It was impossible to untangle, so I had to cut off a chunk of hair. You know what they say, pain is beauty. I went to school in my new style, and the moment I set foot in the building, people stared at me like I was an alien. Then the mocking began. Look who's talking! Last time I saw something like you, I flushed. Oh dear, that wasn't very ladylike. So I decided to change my tone to sound posh and even learned how to sit, stand, and pick up dropped items elegantly. Greetings, Mrs. Allen. Can I have mashed potatoes and beans, please? What's that? Speak up, young lady. I'm sorry. Can someone be a doll and help, please? But they just looked at me all judgy. Stay calm. A lady doesn't panic. I slowly sat down with poise, but someone already picked up my tray. Aaron! He's freaky fast. Being a helpless pretty girl sure is nice.
Jamie, you look different.
I've always looked like this, silly. Since then, we started having lunch together. I felt safe around him because he's new here and didn't know about my past. We gradually became close as we've had many things in common, like martial arts. I really wanted to let my geek flag fly high, but had to hold back. Still, it didn't mean he's used to the current me. Like, he'd not understand that I was trying to eat gracefully.
Are you a slow eater or just picky? Give it to me.
I was saving it for last. Also, he often brought me honey and lemon candy. Sweet! But that's because he thought my soft voice came from a sore throat. Aaron, I was looking for you everywhere. Come, I want to show you something cool.
We're kinda in the middle of something.
Why are you always with her? Let me tell you, her father… Come here, you have to see this.
What is it?
Flowers. Yeah, flowers. Aren't they pretty?
You're weird. Like, in a good way, but weird. Are you trying to hide an earth-shattering secret? Like your true self? Am I wrong?
No way. What else can I be but myself? You watch too many movies. To keep up my fair lady appearance, I shouldn't come to the Fight Girl Club so frequently. Since the principal wasn't breathing down my neck anymore, I hadn't been there for the past 2 weeks. Meanwhile, I tried to talk to Aaron more often. He's very nice. A bit too nice, as in he literally took pleasure in helping others. Today, although we're supposed to walk home together, Aaron canceled at the last minute cause…
So sorry. Betty needed someone to walk her home, and today none of her friends could.
How are you always in the mood to help people?
Dunno. It's fun, I guess.
Aren't you afraid your kindness will be taken for granted, or getting you into trouble one day? Like well, never mind. Have fun.
I'll make it up to you. Bye.
I'm fine with that. It just stings because it's Betty. Actually, Aaron wouldn't think twice about assisting a complete stranger, let alone a classmate. Was I even a little bit special in his eyes? I want to come clean to him, yet I'm afraid that will only make him distrust me and leave me like everybody else. This uncertain hell is driving me insane. I'll ask him out to clear things up. Ugh. Just a dumb text from my self-defense club. Delete! Eek! He said yes! That's a good sign. Sunday came, and after we bought our tickets, we saw a girl struggling with dozens of grocery bags. Oh, that's Pooja from school. Aaron hurried over to help with the bags. We had some time before the movie started. We walked her back and found out that she's volunteering at a soup kitchen for homeless people. Thanks so much.
you two are here anyway. Want to join us? We always need some help here.
What? Free labor?
Absolutely,
we're
no
sorry.
problem.
We got tickets to a movie, right, Aaron?
I don't think it's too late to change our plan, though.
I had to pull him aside immediately. Aaron, what if we're too helpful so they keep us here until late? If not, we'll get yelled at. And if we leave early, they'll have something else to say. I don't know, maybe this isn't a good idea.
Come now, so complicated. Just flat out say you don't want to help.
Don't be ridiculous. It's our date, and we shouldn't let it go to waste.
I'm ridiculous? Okay, but at least I'm not selfish and conceited. You don't want to feed the homeless? I'll stay and give them a hand. You can leave.
Hey, what's the matter with you? Don't think you're better because you help everyone you see.
Oh, so now we're being honest? Fine, my turn. I didn't listen to what everyone said about you and still became your friend. Turns out they're all right after all. Like father, like daughter.
What are you talking about? You knew everything?
Yeah, I'm not dumb, and that's not all. Now I finally believe my dad died in that fire because of your dad's negligence.
Then he stormed off, leaving me stunned. I could see he rolled up his sleeves and began happily working, while I was left out here with my heart broken.
Hey there, animated story show viewers. I'm Crystal, a model and influencer, and I'm here for the Trend Like This Influencer Awards. Why don't you come on in and get ready with me? I know what you're thinking. I have a unique look. You see, I have vitiligo, a condition that causes pale patches to develop on my skin. It's definitely different, but I don't really see it as a disadvantage, but rather one of my biggest perks in life. Since I was a kid, people have always gawped at me in the street. But luckily, my mom and big sis have always been there to support me. Honey, they're only looking at you that way because you're beautifully different. Yeah, Crystal, never doubt yourself. You're one of a kind. Thanks to them, I've grown to adore the way I look. Then one time, while we were walking in the park, this eccentric-looking man approached me.
Oh my word, your skin! It's a masterpiece!
Turns out, he was Bo Ivanov, the world-renowned photographer. He begged me to model for him, and with the encouragement of my mom and sis, I agreed, and my photos became a viral hit. That's when my interest in modeling sparked. I joined this awesome modeling agent and got to learn all poses for photo shoots, wear these gorgeous outfits, and best of all, have makeup done to complement my vitiligo, not to hide it. Ever since then, I've worked my butt off, fully committed to my work. That's how I became the face of multiple fashion brands and built up my influence empire. I wanted to pave the way for people like me to love themselves and celebrate our own uniqueness. 'Cause look at me, my career, my life could come to this point today, all thanks to my skin, and I wouldn't change it for the world. But then this morning came, I woke up to see, my vitiligo patches, they were gone! This can't be happening! I still have tons of fashion shows and events booked for the rest of the year. Without my patches, will they all cancel on me? Panicked, I called my manager, Alex, and she immediately rushed into my apartment. This shouldn't have happened. The project with Red Rush is next week. I know that! What can I do? Go see a dermatologist? No, Crystal, you can't breathe a word about this to anyone. You don't want to ruin your career, do you? Well, no, but I can't hide inside forever. No, you can't. But you can fake your patches. Just use makeup. Draw some on. What? You mean I should lie to everyone? Your choice. It's either that or kiss goodbye to your career. This is wrong, I know, but I've worked so hard for this. I couldn't just give up now. I guess the foundation would have to make do. I went back to my daily modeling life, and luckily no one seemed to suspect anything. But I was so on edge and constantly checking my makeup. Crystal, have you heard? The brand Rarest is looking for models with unconventional features for its newest fashion collection. You're the perfect fit! OMG! Everyone who's anyone in fashion knew of the Rarest's creator, Mr. Finnegan. If I become his muse, that's my step into high fashion world! I can't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity! I got my focus straight, fearlessly walking into the building, when suddenly my heel got stuck. I tumbled backward, and out of nowhere, these strong arms wrapped around me, and I landed straight into their warm embrace. For a moment there, I could feel their divine scent overpowering me. Dior Sauvage, isn't it? You don't change much, do you? Still clumsy even though you're now a superstar. Hold up, this voice. It's Sam, my high school ride or die! My, puberty has hit him hard, huh? Samuel knelt down and gently put the heel back on my foot. Yep, my heart was definitely flipping out of my chest.
You're going in for the casting, right?
Oh, yes. But how do you know?
I'm one of the judges. I gotta go now. Break a leg. But not literally.
Wow, Samuel's made a name for himself already. Impressive. Wait, Crystal, you're here for work. And now time to shine. I strutted my way along the catwalk, doing my signature twist-turn pose at the end of it. As expected, all the judges were mesmerized. This job was in the bag. Just then, everyone went ooh and ah at the girl next in line. It's Amanda! She's known as the super rookie, who challenges the modeling world standards. Ironically, that title once belonged to me, but that's how this industry works. You can easily be dismissed if not careful. We got the results right after the casting. As expected, I was in for the show. Hooray! Hey, Crystal, right? Amanda, huge fan of yours. Say, can a pro like you give this rookie any advice while we train together? You do know this is a competition, right? That means no help. Then I shimmied off. Day 1 of the training, and I already messed up. I had to disguise myself to sneak out and buy a new one. Crisis averted, but this did make me 30 minutes late. You're the professional. Act like one so us amateur can look up to. A veteran in modeling, or so they say. Those chicks wouldn't miss the chance to dethrone me, especially her.
Welcome, everyone. May I introduce you to our Fall 2023 Haute Couture collection. It is inspired by the elegant art of ballet. So besides your usual training, you'll have a chance to learn some of the moves to capture its true essence. Then I'll pick my star, my vedette.
Ballet? I hadn't done that since the accident! Little 6-year-old me was having a ballet performance and had to do this crazy spinning technique. But somehow, I ended up twirling like a humming top, then face planted right on the stage. I never forget the audience's mocking waves of laughter. No, get yourself together, Crystal. Whatever the challenge is, I'll succeed and rock the vedette position. The first lesson was catwalk. Easy peasy, no one came close to matching me.
Good posture, excellent posing. Well done, Crystal.
Oh, he's so sweet. Can we just take a break to admire this piece of art?
Come on, why are you so shy today, Crystal? Your patches are superb.
Except they're just the magic of makeup. But the nightmare had only just begun. Jeez, these clothes were way too tight. They got me melting like the witch from the Wizard of Oz. Gotta go touch up. Then during another session, I couldn't keep my balance and was wobblier than a jellyfish. Meanwhile, Amanda effortlessly executed all those moves. A few days later, Mr. Finnegan organized a photo shoot, which we had to pose like a ballerina on this revolving platform. The past trauma immediately rushed back into my head. I stepped onto the platform shaking like a leaf. Only with Samuel holding my hands could I imagine to do the simplest pose. At least it's over now. My, our pro seems a little rusty, doesn't she? Just step back and let one of us younger girls take care of this. Right, Amanda? Go practice, Xena. Amanda stepped up to the platform. Her body started moving like a real swan.
Gorgeous, Amanda. You're as graceful as the ballerina in the musical box. That's it. I think we got the shot. Well done.
The whole set erupted in applause, and Amanda was the center of attention. Looks like you could learn a thing or two from your junior. Look, I may not be the best ballerina out there, but I'll show them where 1000% efforts get me in life. So I stayed later after the training to practice more, starting with stretching. Ouch, not as easy as it looked. Okay, let's try again. Just have to raise my leg and… Whoa! Okay, this time it has to work. And now the hardest part, sur le point. Uh-oh. Just then, Samuel appeared, trying to catch me, but we both ended up stumbling on the floor.
Don't try too hard. You may hurt yourself.
It's just, the vedette means a lot to me.
I know you can do it. You've been such a positive influence, and I know that energy can get you what you want.
No, my patches! I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
It's okay, I crossed the line. I'll just leave now.
Don't, please. If you only knew the truth, you wouldn't think so highly of me.
Hey, what's wrong? You can talk to me, you know.
Just then, the lights brightened around us. What are you two doing here at this hour? Samuel looked startled and immediately kept his distance from me.
Nothing. I saw Crystal practicing. Thought I could give her some advice.
That's not fair. I need some too. What do you think of my releve? They started laughing together like a married couple. Since when did they get so close? After a few days of intense practice, I may not be a ballet master yet, but I did feel more confident about facing the final challenge, which decided who would be the vedette. Look at this gorgeous couture design! I would make a perfect black swan. I tried the dress on, but accidentally smudged the foundation and got it all over the dress. Oh no! I immediately rushed to the bathroom trying to wash the stain off. Stupid foundation! Super stain my butt! The door suddenly snapped open and in stepped Amanda! Your vitiligo patches? They're coming off? And what are you doing with the dress? I tried to hide it, but she already snatched it away from me. Is That foundation stain? Did you fake your vitiligo? No, I was diagnosed with vitiligo for real, I swear. I told her the truth. Thought she was gonna use it against me, but to my surprise, she looked heartbroken. I decided to pursue modeling because I felt inspired by you. But now you're telling me it's all a scam? How could you? Amanda, wait, please. I thought you were against me. Does it matter anymore? Now that I got a taste of the truth, you don't deserve my respect. I was at an utter loss for words. I'd been so wrapped up in fear of losing my career that I couldn't care less how my action could affect those who looked up to me. I'm nothing more than a hypocrite. I couldn't live like this anymore. Vitiligo or not, I had to stay true to who I am. I walked straight up to the judges panel and wiped all my foundation away right in front of them. Mr. Finnegan, I no longer fit in your collection. The truth is, my vitiligo has gone. I no longer have any unconventional features. Thus, I'm here to announce that I will cut myself from the show. I'm deeply sorry for all the trouble I caused. I turned to walk out the door, but there stood Samuel.
Crystal, I don't understand.
I'm sorry, Sam. I'm not the person you think I am. I ran home, hid under the blanket, and cried myself to sleep. Suddenly, a call from my manager woke me up. How can you sleep at this hour? The press is going wild. They're calling you an attention-seeking fraud. I immediately came to my senses and looked up the news. Oh no, how could it break out so fast? At this speed, I'd be canceled by tomorrow morning. See what happens when you act out of my order? Gosh, you models are so dumb. Don't go anywhere. I'll be there to handle this. Was she being for real? All of this was her idea in the first place. Enough! Have fun dealing with this on your own, Alex. I shut down my phone, packed my stuff, and left it all behind to go to my secret place. I used to spend time here with my family when I was a kid. Being surrounded by nature calms me down. Suddenly a hand pressed on my shoulder.
Hey, we've been looking for you.
Samuel? And Amanda? Did you guys follow me here? It's the only way we could find you. I'm sorry for going at you like that. I was so shocked.
You don't have to. It's all my fault. I lost myself when my vitiligo went away.
I acted out of fear and ended up disappointing everyone who's counting on me. Well, it's hard to stay sane when your identity is taken from you, but what's important is you've learned your lesson. Now, where is the fearless, confident Crystal we all love?
She's right. Patches or not, you're always special to us.
That means a lot to me. Thanks, you guys. Turns out I'd misunderstood Amanda this whole time. She's brilliant, gorgeous, and caring, and perfect for Samuel. Welp, that stings. Suppose it's time I got back to work for some damage control. I opened the phone to see hundreds of notifications. Among them was a message from Mr. Finnegan saying he has a place for me at the fashion show. So it's not the end for me, right? Go get it, girl. Yes, it felt so good to be back.
Crystal, you're here. I have great news. You'll be the vedette for this collection.
Me? But I don't have any unconventional features.
Doesn't matter. You're perfect the way you are. 2 girls will stand by your side, and you'll be in the center wearing this work of art. An elegant swan among the flock of ugly ducks.
Isn't that a bit offensive? So this was your plan all along? Playing dirty tricks to save your flopped career? Cut it, Xena. Mocking me won't change the situation. There's something fishy going on here, and I'm gonna get to the end of it. Finally, the show has come. As soon as I got the signal, I strutted to the runway confidently, turning heads to my every step. But it's not for the reason you're thinking. I actually switched places with Amanda, and now all the spotlights are on her. Right at that moment, Mr. Finnegan bolted to the runway.
What do you think you're doing? You ruined my show. I had a deal with her.
What deal? Tell me. Right now.
It's her who's behind this.
Alex? Ugh, that snake! It turned out Alex bribed Mr. Finnegan to let me be the vedette and drag the models with unconventional features down since I'm no longer one of them. Hearing that, all the models turned furious, ready to jump at the 2 frauds. You 2 have crossed the line. I don't need any of your manipulative games to continue my career. I will stay true to myself no matter what. Unconventional features or not, I'm always willing to speak up for them because everyone is beautiful in their own way, and they deserve a chance to showcase their beauty to the world. The audience erupted in cheers and applause, while Mr. Finnegan and Alex were surrounded by cameras and criticism. Justice served. After all that drama, I'm still modeling, but with a different agency that fully accepts me for the real me. I continued to influence young people on self-love and being uniquely themselves. Amanda and I became the best of friends. We also made tons of plans to collaborate with Samuel, but honestly, I couldn't shake off this heart-wrenching feeling whenever these 2 were together. Luckily, my hectic schedule has left me no time to think about that. Guess what? After days and nights of hard work, I now have my own line of skincare products called Only You. Exciting, right? Oh, Sam, you made it! Wow, they're beautiful. Amanda will love them.
No, they're not for Amanda. They're for you. Crystal, I'm crazy about you. I always have been.
What? It's me you like all along? Then why didn't you tell me that before, silly? I leaped into his arms, and we shared the most amazing kiss. Perfect ending for an amazing journey, huh?
Hi, I'm Celine, and I've called the St. Augustine Orphanage home since I was 6, but I'm not actually an orphan. You see, my parents are special agents with secret identities. Sweetie, if one day someone suspicious asks you about your parents, run for your life. I was used to these fleeting, ghost-like visits from my parents. They often took turns sneaking in and out at night, spending the little time they had with me, and always came together for my birthday. And even though I didn't see them much, they taught me some awesome skills. By the age of 12, I was fluent in 5 languages, could play a variety of instruments, and do a butterfly kick on anyone who needed it. Despite living a secret life and not seeing my parents as much as I wanted, I still felt lucky that I had them both in my life. It's my 17th birthday, a day I should be super excited about. You see, my parents always visit me together on my birthday, but I've been waiting here for ages and there's no sign of them. This was the first year this had happened. I didn't like it one bit. Something was definitely up. The next day in church, we were singing hymns when I spotted this strange man in the crowd staring at me. My instinct were telling me something was up, so I eavesdropped on him talking to a nun.
That girl with blonde hair. How exactly did her parents pass away?
He asked about my parents. That meant my life was in real danger. I fled with all my survival skills right away. What really happened to my parents? Have their identities been revealed? I didn't dare to think about it. So I made sure no one was following me before going to the subway and looking for a baggage locker. This was where I needed to come in a run-for-my-life situation. I waited until nobody was around before I opened it with my key. Inside was some money, a dossier documenting a girl's life from childhood to old age, and a letter.
Our darling Celine, we're very sorry that you didn't have the normal childhood you deserved. Please don't ever doubt that we cherish and love you with all of our hearts. If you're reading this, it means our identities have been compromised. We've included the documents for your new identity. Stay strong. We will reunite soon. You're a loving mom and dad. XO.
If my parents could arrange all this for me, I believe that they could handle anything and come back to me soon. So here I am, under my new identity, Diane. Australia, here I come. My parents left me just enough money to start a new life here, pay for rent and tuition fees. How perfectly ordinary. Diane's parents were researchers way in the Arctic. She's from a basic family and attended normal public schools, then worked as an office accountant, did not marry or have children. Everything was boringly safe. The thing is, if I was going to be someone else, then I should at least be someone fun. So I didn't start school. Instead, I created and adopted the identity of 20-year-old Harper and started my first money-making idea, marriage on demand. With all I'd learned from my parents, I could make a whole lot of money and at the same time experience how a normal family would look like. Perfect! First, I became a Harvard doctor graduate so this privileged guy's parents would give him his inheritance. Next, a posh aristocrat who saved my client from a dreadful arranged marriage. And then a sweet-natured girl who helped my client intimidate their seriously mean friends. As soon as my clients achieved their goals, the contract ended and we went our separate ways. Before I knew it, through my Harper alias, I'd married 9 guys in just 8 months and become eye-wateringly rich. But as it turned out, the cases I took were all abnormal families. This 10th contract would be my final case. Then I'd say goodbye to Harper and attend college as Diane before I lost all faith in ever getting the family of my dreams. But while driving to my rendezvous, I'd swear that car was following me. It could be my parents or someone dangerous. Only one way to find out. Now I just had to wait. If they were dangerous, I'd drive straight off this cliff, then swim to safety. Then I saw this gormless, grinning guy peer through my window. He held up a temporary girlfriend contract.
Hey, I just want to talk.
Could he be my 10th client? Either way, he seemed harmless, so I stepped out of the car.
I'm Carlton from the courthouse. You've sure been busy, so I've been assigned to investigate you.
As far as I'm aware, it's not illegal to marry multiple times, is it?
No, only if they're real and not marriage contracts.
Carlton, I only have one client left and I'm not marrying him. I'm his temporary girlfriend, which I believe is legal. So, is there any chance you could turn a blind eye this one last time?
Legal or not, I strongly advise you to quit this job and do something more morally upright.
Just then, a black car pulled over and a man walked straight towards us. Oh no, had they found me? I'm sorry for getting you into trouble. I turned around, ready to jump, but Carlton suddenly held my hand back.
No need for that. My boss won't eat you alive. Besides, I haven't told anyone about the contracts yet.
Oh, so this man's his boss from the court? Turns out he and his wife happened to see Carlton on their way to the airport and just came to say hi.
Hey Carl, it doesn't say much if this girl would rather jump into the sea than date you.
He looked really awkward and I felt bad for the guy. Without thinking it through, I clung onto his arm and gave him my best adoring look. Actually, we're deeply in love. I'm an adrenaline junkie, but you know Carl, he's just so strict about things like this.
You're right, Carl is rather stiff. If you loosened up a bit, you may have been promoted by now.
After they left, I explained to Carlton that's what my job is, helping nice guys out of unnecessary trouble. Nothing immoral about it. I was about to leave when he suddenly stopped me. I could see his attitude changed.
Please, make a contract with me. I know you could help me improve my communication skills and get me promoted. You can see how desperate I am right now.
I wasn't sure. I mean, number 10 was meant to be my last client, but just look at that clueless face. Fine, but in return, you must be an attentive boyfriend, and I want to have dinner with you and your family every evening. Carl looked a bit confused, but he agreed to my demands. This was probably my last chance to experience a family life. I have a strict don't be wife two people at the same time rule, so I'm meeting my other client to gently turn him down.
Celine, is that you?
Celine? He knew my name? OMG, that's Matten, the genius pianist from the orphanage. Oh no, this was terrible. He could blow my cover. I was adopted and go by Harper now. My adoptive parents turned out to be a letdown. I had to fake my identity so I could work on my own.
I understand. It's so hard for orphans like us to survive.
Yes, it sure is. Look, Matten, things got pretty difficult for me, so I had to take another job in a hurry. I can't do 2 jobs at once. I'm sorry I have to cancel our contract.
Yeah, about that. I already publicly announced I have a girlfriend just a second ago.
Pianist prodigy Matten confirmed he's currently dating someone? Matten, I really can't do this.
Just tell me who your client is. I can make a deal with him.
I can't be with them both, so I called an emergency meeting for them to plead their cases.
An article accused me of inappropriate behavior towards female artists. It's completely false, of course. I need a girlfriend to distract the public and make them see I'm not a jerk. I want this promotion. If you won't help me, I'll expose you publicly. Pfft, like that matters. I'll just take you back to the US.
No, I can't go back there, and I don't want any attention from people either. This is what I'm gonna do, Carl. I'll be your girlfriend on weekdays and do anything I can to help you get promoted. In Matten, I'll be your girlfriend, well, pretend to be your girlfriend on the weekend. But my face has to stay out of the media, okay? Once this is done, then it's goodbye Harper and hello trouble-free, simple Diane. All I have to do is play some music while Matten listens and lets the paparazzi snap photos.
I've always admired the way you play music. It follows no rules, but that's what makes it so fearless and fun.
His comment made me pine for my parents. They were the reason I played like that. They taught me in the dark, told me to flow with the rhythms without any rules. I miss them so much.
I must admit, I'd always had a crush on you. When this is over, I want to protect you. I want to be your family.
This was sweet, but he didn't know that I already had a family. I just needed to be patient, then eventually they'll be back. On weekdays, I joined Carlton for lunch at work and helped him talk to his coworkers and grumpy boss. Then in the evening, I went to his house and gave him tips on how to be more charismatic, make people trust and warm up to him. I also taught him how to walk without slouching and politely greet people.
Hi, Mr. Chair. You look great today.
Oh, Miss Lamp, are you okay? You shouldn't lose more weight. You're already gorgeous.
Isn't that too much? I've never talked like this before.
You're doing great. Carlton followed all my advice. He might be a bit clumsy, but in a cute, endearing way. Still, what I anticipated most was joining his family for dinner. I'd never experienced the cozy and warm atmosphere of a family dinner before. Who knew Carl was such a great cook? And so sweet. After only 1 week, Carl now had friends at work and his boss gave him extra responsibilities. Meanwhile, Matten's reputation also made a rebound thanks to articles like, he doesn't want to be around other girls because he's so passionately in love with this amazing muse. A frantic week quickly passed, which ended with Carlton's family celebrating his new position, all thanks to me. I was so moved I almost cried, but noticed Carlton seemed off. Maybe he was bummed out as he knew this was the end of our contract. After dinner, we went for a stroll around the garden. Then he blurted out, "Who are you really?" I was super surprised. Then he told me that one of his new jobs was to investigate a girl called Diane who entered the country, then vanished.
I know you're Diane. I can recognize those eyes anywhere.
Yes, I'm Diane, but I only faked my identity to earn money.
I know you're lying again. It's fine, you've helped me, so I'll help you too. I faked some info to close the case.
Thank you, Carl. This means a lot. I knew how important the laws were to him, but he still broke them. For me.
I actually quit my job.
What do you mean? What about your promotion? You've tried so hard for that.
It's okay. I realized I didn't like it so much anyway.
I felt terrible that he'd given up his job because of me. But he didn't need me anymore. Our contract had to end, right? Now it's time to end Matten's contract. Then I can go back to being Diane. However, I showed up at the villa to a swarm of reporters.
Are you Matten's girlfriend? Please get out of the car. Are you the girl who dates him for dollars, not love? Please show yourself and verify the news.
Looks like the news of Matten's girlfriend being a girl who only married for money had leaked. I sat there not knowing what to do. Then I saw Matten coming out of the villa hand in hand with some shiny-haired girl.
These rumors about my girlfriend are all lies. Amber is a wonderful, kind-hearted soul and I couldn't be happier.
Oh, I suppose that's pretty smart of him. Finding someone with a nice background was the only way to save his reputation for now. Goodbye, Matten. I wish you well. It seems he couldn't bring himself to ruin his career to protect me the way Carlton did. Now I was free to be Diane and attend this public school my parents wanted me to.
I was wondering when you'd show up. You're rather popular. A man with a scar has been asking about you.
Someone with a scar was looking for Diane? The moment I realized someone was watching me behind the door, my instinct told me to run for my life. I rushed to the window and jumped down, just to catch Carlton peeping at me. What are you doing here?
I wanted to see you, so I tracked down Diane. I didn't expect to find you here, but I like you a lot, and
there was no time. They saw us together, so I pulled him away.
You're driving like crazy, Diane. Who are they? Why are they chasing us?
I don't know. All I know is that they're dangerous. He took his phone out to call 911, but I stopped him. No cops. I can't trust anyone but myself, Carl. I'm so sorry for dragging you into this mess. My parents often told me the best way to escape a chase is to jump into the water. However crazy it seems, please trust me. I took a sudden turn and plunged the car straight into the sea. In the water, I unfastened the seatbelt and turned to see Carl already got out of his. He pulled my hand and we swam through the window. The waves drifted us onto a beach, but I had no strength left to move an inch. They're gonna catch us.
Celine, sweetie, please wake up.
I rubbed my eyes and saw the golden sand, Carlton, and my mom and dad? Am I dead? Mom?
No, sweetie, you're very much alive.
Turns out the people chasing us were my parents. After 10 years on the job, they finally eliminated the criminal gang and retired. Dad ended up getting the scar, but it's all over now. We could finally be a normal family.
You sure made it hard for us to track you down by using a different identity. We should have known our cunning daughter would have created a more challenging life. Like father, like daughter. Huh? You're not Diane?
Carlton, my name's Celine. Mom, Dad, this is Carlton, my boyfriend. It was so cute seeing him blush. Then he quickly held his hand out and introduced himself to them.
It's lovely to meet you both. I care greatly for your daughter and I always will, no matter how mischievous she is.
Turns out it's pretty amazing just being Celine. I started school as myself and so far, so good. I'm living with my kind, talented, and normal parents. We're having the best time together, and I get to date this cute, caring chef. The best part is I can finally stop running for my life and just enjoy the people I love most.
I was tidying up my room when a call came through. Oh, my big sister! She lives with Mom, so I've not seen her in a year. Blair! It's been a hot minute. How have you been?
Hi, Kiernan. Well, not so good. Mom left.
Oh no! What happened? Then Blair told me it's due to Mom's debts. She had run away from the loan sharks and left my sister behind. That's awful! So I told her to come to Portland and live with us. She agreed to come, but then I realized that Blair staying here wasn't really down to me. Oh well, it's not like I could leave her in danger, right? So later over dinner, I told my family about Blair's current situation. Oh, how terrible! Yes, Blair must come and stay. Yay! Their kindness didn't surprise me as my stepmom and stepsis, Chrissy, have been lovely to me ever since I moved in. You know what's even cooler? Christy is a rising teen pop star, but she's so sweet. We've grown super close, and she even told me all about her secret boyfriend, Damien.
They'd been together long before Chrissy became famous and had since kept their relationship out of the public eye. This is so exciting! I haven't seen Blair since our parents split. This guest bedroom is gonna be hers and we're living under one roof again. Blair's basically my alter ego. She's pretty, outgoing, and popular, while I'm more of a homebody. Come to think of it, I see a lot of Blair and Chrissy. They're both so extroverted and confident. They'll get along just great. But to everyone's surprise, Blair showed up looking completely different. Wow, it seems like living with Mom, a party animal, had clearly influenced Blair. Hello, Blair. I'm Stacy, and this is my daughter, Chrissy. Welcome to Portland. You must be tired from your trip. Let me take your bag. Sure. Huh? Doesn't it seem like everyone's excited about Blair's arrival, all except for Blair? Maybe she's just tired. I showed Blair her room and helped her unpack. Oh my god, they're unbearable. How can you stand living with them? They think they're so much better than everyone else. What? Blair had only spoken to them for 5 seconds. Why she disliked them so much already? Give them a chance, they're really lovely. Blair's probably just stressed out from all the mom stuff. Hopefully, with time, she'll see how great stepmom and Chrissy are. Only things didn't get any better. After class, both Chrissy and Blair came up to me. Hey, wanna hang out? I asked her first. Oh, then we can all go together. Sorry, Chrissy. It's just that we haven't seen each other in ages, and there's a lot of catching up to do. Maybe we can go to Sephora tomorrow to check out that new Anastasia palette you like. Sure, have fun. Then Chrissy left. I'm sure she really wants us all to hang out. Oh, please. She thinks just 'cause she's popular, she can always get her own way. She's mid. Okay, maybe it's best not to mention either of my sisters to one another to avoid World War III. Things went on like that for a while. I took turns to hang out with Blair and Chrissy. Once, when Blair was chilling in my room, I noticed her smiling at her phone. Seemed like our homegirl had finally found something fun to enjoy around here. I excitedly asked her what she was watching. Look, isn't he cute? He goes to our school also. Wait, no, it can't be. That's Damien, Chrissy's secret boyfriend. If Blair learns that the girl she hates is her crush's girlfriend, all hell will break loose. I think I'll ask him out. Really? He's so popular, he must have hundreds of girls wrapped around his finger already. Besides, what if he's not into you? You'll only be rejected and get hurt. What do you mean? Am I not pretty enough? Oh, I see. You think that a popular guy like him is only suitable for your famous, fabulous other sister, Chrissy, don't you? No, that's not what I mean. You're gorgeous. In fact, out of his league. You deserve a guy who has time just for you. So why bother competing for attention from someone like him? Okay, thanks. But he's my type. I'll ask for his number Monday morning. Oh no, I just accidentally encouraged Blair to ask out Chrissy's boyfriend. I can't reveal that Chrissy and Damien are secretly together, but I can't let Blair steal someone else's boyfriend either. What a mess. I tossed and turned all night. Then when I woke up, I decided I'd just have to make Blair stop liking Damien. I don't condone catfishing, but right now it's the only way. Hey there, Blair, right? It's Damien here from math class. What you doing? A few seconds later, Blair replied, "Oh my god, I was just thinking about getting your number. Looks like the first steps of my plan are working." I texted Blair as Damien regularly. I made sure he was a man of 1,000 red flags. But for some puzzling reason, Blair seemed smitten with him. I gave him a seriously challengeable temperament. He could throw a tantrum one moment and become sweet the next. Then I photoshopped Damien's selfie into a photo of a messy bedroom, then sent it to Blair. Surely she couldn't abide by a narcissistic, messy guy like him. I'm so sorry, Damien, but I have to save my family. Huh? What? She sent back a picture of her room being messier than ever. She's always the clean freak around here. I had to see with my own eyes. Hey, may I borrow your hair curler? And what's with your room? So what if it's a bit untidy? Neat people are total psychos. Okay, it's time to get personal. Blair's biggest pet peeve was being commented on her look. So when she sent Damien a selfie, I didn't hold back. Babe, can't you dress more ladylike? And you really should cover up that awful tattoo. Voila! That's how you wake up the beast inside this fierce girl. However, the next day, Blair showed up with a completely new look. Worse still, she walked straight over to Damien. I had to fake having an emergency to prevent a disaster from happening. Afterward, I texted Blair. I'm not ready to let everyone know about us yet. Please understand, babe. You know I like you. There, that should stop her from trying to approach him again. Even so, during lunch, Blair wouldn't stop blabbering about Damien and showing me his texts. Isn't he quite rude? You don't normally let guys tell you what to do. He's not. He's just opinionated. I'm into that. No, he's horrible. I don't understand why you like him. He's sweet. You just don't know him like I do. Our love is complicated, but that's what makes it special. Seriously, you called that love? What do you know? Okay, little Miss Love Guru, if you're really that experienced, make that guy your boyfriend, succeed, and I'll give up the love of my life. If not, I'll do as I please. What Blair's daring me to do was impossible. That guy, Adrian, is as popular as Damien. While Damien's the friendly one, Adrian is nicknamed Jack Frost due to his icy cold exterior. Rumor has it, no one has ever seen him crack a smile. Surrender, as expected, then step aside, sister. Not knowing what else to do, I agreed to the bet. This is for Blair, for Chrissy, for Dad's happiness. Hi, Adrian, right? Are you free tonight? Or whenever? He gave me this cold glance, then went back to chatting with Damien. Please, I'm just trying to win a bet with my sister. One smile from you is enough to save the fate of an entire family and stop 2 girls becoming homeless. Can you just... Adrian gave me this odd look. Then he burst out laughing and took my hand.
Sure thing. Can't wait for our date tonight.
I left in a haze of confusion. That really just happened? Adrian must be messing around. But nope, he actually showed up at my doorstep that evening. This meant I'd won the bet, right? So I called Blair over to show her, but she just brushed it off. That proves nothing. Talk to me when Ice Boy professes his love for you. Man, I guess this means I'm going on a date. The tension in here was palpable, so I decided to break the awkward silence. Hey, where are we going? I mean, this isn't actually a real date, is it?
It's definitely real. You insisted.
I must have looked so dazed that he continued.
Don't worry, I'm not messing with you. Anyway, I think you'll like where I'm taking you.
I used to think he was incapable of smiling, but turns out he looks even cuter when he does. A drive-through cinema? Wow! I'd seen these in old movies, but I had no idea it still existed.
So, what's the deal with your sister Chrissy? You mentioned the bet?
You know that Chrissy is my sister?
Of course, it's not exactly hidden. Besides, I'm friends with Chrissy's boyfriend.
So, you know?
Yep, there's no secrets between me and Damien. And don't worry, I have his back. So, can you answer my question now?
I like this different side to Adrian. So before I could stop myself, I told him how the bet wasn't with Chrissy, but with my other sister, Blair. And I was catfishing Blair as Damien to protect my family, but it's barely working.
Whoa, that's intense. Secrets make things complicated. Life sure would be easier if we could just be ourselves.
So why did you decide to go on a date with me? Don't you think it's weird?
No, not really. Beats how girls normally ask me out.
I arrived home feeling on cloud 9, but then I walked past Chrissy's room and saw her upset. I asked her what's going on. It's Damien. He wants us to go public, but I told him I'm not ready yet. I like having this part of me private, and I don't want Damien to be open to backlash and scrutiny. But he didn't understand and thought I was embarrassed of him. Oh, Chrissy, what a pain. Give him time, I'm sure he'll come around. But the school performance is in a few days. How am I supposed to take the stage in this state? I hated seeing Chrissy so downhearted like this. And I thought about Adrian and what he said during our date about honesty. I don't know much about the pressures of fame, but I do know that your feelings for Damien are real. I don't think love is something that you should hide. Honesty is the best policy. It might be hard at first, but you can get through it together. Now, come to my case, I should also follow my own advice and put an end to my catfishing before it gets out of hand. I tried hard to think of the best way to break this to Blair while we were walking to school the next day. After much hesitation, I pulled her aside before entering school for a talk. Only, before I could get to the main part, Damien walked past and oddly, Blair didn't do so much as to blink. Seeing my confusion, she said, "Yesterday he ignored all of my messages. You're right, I deserve someone better. Anyway, what did you want to tell me?" "Oh, that, my date with Adrian was amazing. It all happened because of you, so thanks. And sorry about Damien. It's okay." That's strange. Did my smitten sister really just give up that easily? But anyway, at least it's all over now. And I don't even have to come clean anymore. The day of Chrissy's performance arrived. Me, Adrian, and Damien had backstage access. Actually, I'm here for emotional support as Chrissy is about to tell everyone about her relationship with Damien. This is a surprise for Damien too. He just thinks we're here to get a better view of Chrissy. She slays the performance and the audience adored her. Thanks everyone. Thank you so much. Actually, today is an extra special day because I have something. But suddenly Blair stormed onto the stage and snatched Chrissy's mic. How about making it even more special with this breaking news? Everyone, she's had a secret boyfriend all this time. She made the poor guy hide in the shadows so she can keep her squeaky clean image. She's lied to you all for years. Is someone like that worthy of your support? Blair ran off as soon as she finished. Boos start coming from the crowd. Many people began commenting on the situation in true TMZ fashion. What is this, 2009 VMA?
No way! My Chrissy is taken?
Meanwhile, Chrissy had a panic attack and froze there on the stage. I didn't know what to do. Neither did Damien. Luckily, Adrian kept calm and grabbed the walkie-talkie, connected to Chrissy's in-ear.
Chrissy, listen to me. In times like these, there's only one way out, and that's confronting the truth and taking back the narrative.
I looked at Adrian and realized something about my own problem. More on that later. For now, let's see how Chrissy handles this. Well, there goes my big reveal. Yes, I'm in a relationship, but I only kept it quiet because I wanted to separate my personal life from my professional one. Being a public figure and a teenager at the same time is not as easy as you might think. So I didn't want to drag my loved one into that life too soon. On reflection, maybe this wasn't the best way to deal with this. I won't hide anything from my fans anymore, and those who truly support me won't judge or speak badly of my decision. Everyone, I want you to meet Damien, my boyfriend. The audience went wild. Aw, this is so cute. But I still had one more problem to deal with. Blair! I looked everywhere and finally found her hiding under the bleachers. Blair, it's just me. Please come out. I started to talk about what just happened, but Blair didn't want to hear it. I know everything. You tricked me because you think I'm an idiot. La 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 la. I let her finish her outburst and calm down. Then I apologized and told her the truth. I only did it because I didn't want you going after a boy who's already taken. I know I went about it in a completely wrong way, but I just wanted to keep our family together. I love you, and I don't want to be in the middle of your jealousy towards Chrissy anymore. If you just gave her a chance, you could have just been honest with me. This is all because you prefer Chrissy over me, don't you? No, of course not. I just wanted to protect you, and for there to not be any more conflict between you and Chrissy. I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Actually, I'm not jealous of Chrissy because she's famous and gorgeous. It's actually because you guys are really close. We used to be that close when our parents divorced, and now it's like I've been replaced. Blair's honesty touched me in the feels. I gave her a big hug, but then realized that we weren't alone. Actually, I'm jealous of you, Blair. You're all Kiernan ever talks about, and I feel that, even though we're close, I can't compete with her real sister. Oh, so the tension between them wasn't just over a boy. It was actually over me. To me, you're both my real sisters, and I love you dearly. Come on, sisterly cuddle. Oh, by the way, how did you know that I was pretending to be Damien? I overheard your conversation with Chrissy. It didn't take much digging around to figure out it was you texting me, not the real Damien. While we're at it, I find it worrying you were still into him after all those red flags. In future, please let me vet your dates first. You're too easily blinded by good looks. Oh dear. That's why us girls have to stick together, especially when it comes to boys. Hi there, I'm Anita, a science pro and robotics prodigy. I've won countless trophies, including one for making a talking replica of BB-8. But it's my crush's heart that I can't win. Tom has just refused to accompany me to the last middle school dance. But who cares? I've got my bestie Barb. It'll still be fun. We can go together. We arrived at the dance to find that everyone had dates, except for us. Well, this is a little awkward. Move. This is a dance floor, grannies. Either you dance or get out. I bet this is the first party you've ever got to attend. As if Tom would go out with such a loser. Yeah, you should try asking your robots out instead. As they walked off laughing, I felt so disheartened. Barb told me not to listen to them, but their words niggled away at me. I realized if I didn't change, then I'd waste the rest of my teen years by being a loser that got left out of all the fun. I needed to reinvent myself now before it was too late. Over the summer break, I thought it over and realized that there was only one way forward. I should flip the script, where nobody knew who I was. And this is the perfect occasion for that. High school! I purposely chose a school that's across the city. It's a bit inconvenient, but that's how to be sure I'd not run into anyone from my local middle school. Of course, except for Barb. She's going there with me also. Hey, recognize me? I'm still Anita. Like my new look? I've had a style update, ditched my glasses and all the uncool geeky stuff. Ooh, let's surprise my bestie. Anita? Whoa, talk about a Captain Marvel transformation. Gee, thanks. This hair color is so in season right now. Hang on, you look just like Chelsea. Oh, do I? How funny. You sound like her too. Okay, so Chelsea was this popular girl from middle school. Yeah, I may have spent all summer studying her. Alright, I actually mirrored her style and mannerisms. I'm just learning to better myself. This isn't any different from using humans as models when programming a robot. Besides, it's not like Chelsea's here to mind. Speaking of robots, how's your BB-8? No, that's my past. We'll never be cool and get boyfriends if our peers think we're nerds. Come with me after school, I'll give you a makeover too. It's okay, Anita. I don't mind being a nerd. But if this makes you happy, then you have my full support. My sweet, naive Barb has no idea how incredible being cool would be. They're the cool kids here, aka celebrities. They're so dazzling and popular. And oh my god, who's that? He's so dreamy. So I confidently strutted over to introduce myself to the whole group when... Luckily, no one seemed to notice my fall, or they just didn't care. Anyways, this was only my first day here. I had loads of time to fit in with the celebrities, and then catch that hottie, who supposedly named Eric's attention. At first, the popular girls didn't notice me, but then a few days in, Lou, the celebrity's leader, had a lipstick emergency and I sprung to her rescue. See? I told you, this burgundy shade really pops against your cool undertone. Ruby woo? That's so 2015, Ashley. You can put that away. And easy peasy, I became part of the group. They invited me to their parties, shopping trips, and spa days. It's like entering a completely new world, an extra shiny one. I got to sit with them at lunch where they Ubered low-calorie food. Normally, I had the same as them, but today my mom packed me a special sandwich with the moist maker, just like Ross's from Friends. Sorry guys, but Anita doesn't share food! Are you seriously going to drink that? You can practically see the fat and lactose swirling in it. Gross. Oh, okay. Looks like the moist maker would have to wait. I looked around and saw Barb sharing her mom's amazeballs mac and cheese with her new geeky friends. I've not spoken to Barb properly in weeks. We kept trying to reschedule as I had manicures with Lou, Haley's party, and all these other after-school shopping trips, which kept getting so expensive. Aren't you gonna buy that? You haven't bought anything. That's because I only wear tailor-made clothes made of Egyptian cotton or at least silk linen. Okay. In that case, you can be our assistant. Make sure you wear a cute cardigan tomorrow for our OOTD Instagram post. Ashley has made a list of the available colors. That's why I had to use all of my allowance on this cardigan. But it's fine. That's just how popular cliques had to be. And it's so nice of them to let me hang around. I proudly strutted alongside the celebs, looking just like one of them. Other students gawped at us, and it sure felt good. But suddenly this dizzy spell came over me. I started shaking and feeling cold. Then, pitch black. I woke up in the infirmary to Barb's worried face. Oh good, you're awake. It's no surprise you passed out. You aren't eating enough. What? I'm eating just fine. Besides, skinny is chic. I'm not arguing with you. You're lucky your head didn't hit the floor thanks to Eric. Eric saved me? He must have caught me like in a romantic movie. This diet is amazing. I wouldn't have been in Eric's arms without it. Later, I tried to thank him, but he put his headphones on and walked off. And I never saw him at any of the celebs' parties or anything. A hot guy like him is probably hanging out with an even cooler clique and interested in even more popular girls. I need to try harder. But my geeky side wasn't gonna stay suppressed. One time, this guy slated Spider-Man 2099, my favorite character ever. Dude doesn't understand how the multiverse works, and his suit sucks. Are you kidding me? As if you know how it works. His suit incorporates Parker tech and has stealth features and exploding spider saucers. Okay, cool it, new girl. It's just some weirdo jumps around in spandex. Right, be cool. Cool kids didn't geek out over superheroes. Luckily, everyone else seemed distracted. I turned to look and saw them already flocked around some new kid with a huge backpack, a comic t-shirt, and jeans. Huh, it's like looking at middle school me. When I managed to get a closer look, I almost fell over in shock. It was Chelsea! Why would pretty, popular Chelsea do a total 180 on her looks? I tried to avoid Chelsea, but then one time when I was trying to approach Eric, she appeared, and he actually spoke to her. Does Chelsea know Eric? Since when? How come? Ah! Time stopped as I stared into his big, dreamy eyes, but falling for each other again? You might as well just stay in his arms. I quickly walked away and passed Chelsea. Our eyes met. Did she recognize me? She didn't say anything, but was that a smirk I saw? I needed to find out if Chelsea really recognized me, so I turned to Barb. It was a bit awkward, as we hadn't spoken in a while, but luckily Barb was cool about it and said she'd try to find out. We chatted a bit, and then she asked me, we are still going to Comic-Con on the 7th, right? Yeah, of course. Can't wait. I was excited about Comic-Con until a few days later, the celebrities had a big announcement. They were attending Conan Gray's concert on the 7th. Are you coming, or do you have some tragic nerdy convention to go to? Huh? That's oddly specific. I panicked and said yes to the concert. We had to give money to Ashley the next day, and she would take care of purchasing everyone's tickets. But thanks to that overpriced cardigan, how am I supposed to afford this? I guess there was one way to pay for it. Me and Barb's Comic-Con fund, which we'd been saving since middle school. I was only borrowing and would definitely pay it back. The following day, the celebs gathered to discuss the concert. Out of the corner of my eye, I saw a flustered-looking Barb. What about her plan? Did you just spend all your savings on some concert you don't even care about? I'm sorry, I promise I'll pay you back. I just needed some time. So, you spent my share too? How could you? I felt terrible. I never meant to upset my friend like that. I just really wanted to fit in. Only, after that day, I found myself miserable with the celebs. The more time I spent with them, the more things about them got me second-guessing this group's dynamic. For instance, they talked a lot about the importance of being eco-friendly, but ordered Uber Eats almost every day, and constantly brought new, cute, reusable straws in Stanley cups. Moreover, it was always lose weight or the highway, and they even trash-talked their own group members behind their backs. I found myself often looking around for Barb and then feeling extra guilty. On my way home, I was dragging my feet, feeling awful, when I passed an appliance store. I saw some students from my school's robotics team struggling with their droid, so I gladly offered a hand. If you want my lunch money, take it, but please leave Gears Brosnan alone. We worked hard on it. I tried explaining that I just wanted to help, but they kept pushing me away. I stared down at myself and realized that I wasn't welcomed because I'd given up everything to look like a celebrity. However, I didn't feel like one. I'd stood by and let the celebs push everyone else around. Was this really the life I wanted? That weekend was supposed to be spa day with the celebs, so I went out to the mall to ask Lou for my concert ticket. I was gonna sell it and pay Barb back. Only when I got there, I saw Chelsea with them, but she looked like her cool self again. Uh-oh, I better go. But too late. Chelsea caught me and told everyone. Guys, look who's here. Fun fact, Anita and I used to be friends back in middle school. Cover yourself in foundation all you want, but your nerdiness will still show. Everyone started laughing, and that's when it dawned on me. They were all in on Chelsea's plans to expose me. I wanted to leave, but I still needed my ticket back. Sure, you can have it back, but on one condition. Wash off your Chelsea disguise and go back to being pathetic little you again. And so they told me to wash my hair in this decorative basin in a Lush store before everyone's confused eyes and their live streaming cameras. I swallowed my pride and did it. For Barb. But afterward, Lou turned back on her word. Actually, I gave it to Chelsea. Tough luck. Oops, too bad I never agreed to the deal Lou made with you. I felt overcome with panic and shame. I ran and I bumped into someone. Eric! Seeing how upset I was, he took me for coffee and a chat. As soon as we sat down, I burst into tears and told him how I'd lost everything. My popularity, dignity, friends. It all started to fall apart when Chelsea turned up all of a sudden, and then the domino effect took over. Chelsea? I'd always known she's catty, but I never thought she'd go that far. How can you be friends with her? What? No, it's not what you think. You still don't recognize me? What do you mean recognize? Then he revealed that he was from my middle school. I was shooketh. But if I squinted real hard, I guess he did look vaguely familiar. Whoa, puberty hit you like a truck. Same for you. Yeah, no, it wasn't puberty for me. I got emotionally scarred from being an outcast and became afraid of missing out on cool stuff, so I turned myself into a Chelsea clone to be popular. That's insane. But if it means anything, I prefer the old you. It's great seeing you at the school, but when I saw that you changed and joined the celebs, I was kinda apprehensive. But for real though, I would have died for you to notice me. I was beyond surprised. He liked me all along? Suddenly, Chelsea jumped in. Why has it always been her? I changed myself to look like her. Didn't you say you liked nerdy girls? So why not me? Say what? Chelsea liked Eric? So she really copied my look. And for that reason? I'm sorry, Chelsea, but it's my feelings. I can't believe you rejected me twice for this little nerd, and she doesn't even look like herself anymore. Chelsea, it's never been about looks. It's about who she is. In the midst of it, I finally understood something. I was fine just being me. I never needed to be anything else. I've switched schools and turned myself into a dork for you! Ah! You're lucky this time. I watched Chelsea stomp out. I realized how I was constantly anxious and on edge, that I'd messed up while hanging out with the celebrities. I missed the truly happy moments with real friends where I could just be me. All this time, I thought I'd been missing out on all the fun, but turns out, I missed nothing. The true way to have beautiful teenage years is to spend it with people that really appreciate you and do the things that you actually enjoy. I thanked Eric, then left. There was something important I needed to do first. I went home and fixed my BB-8, then took it over to Barb's house. Sorry, Barb. I'm so sorry, Barb. I was so desperate to be cool that I overlooked what really mattered. I miss you and our friendship so much.
I missed you too, and I saw that humiliating video, and just wanted to know you were okay.
On second thoughts, I'll forgive you if you give me your BB-8. No can do, as I'm selling it online to make money to pay you back. I only brought it here to make my apology more meaningful. Did it work? We both hug. The next few days at school, I tried my best to fix things. I returned to my old image, well, with a slight upgrade. I can't let my beauty skills go to waste now. And I dug out all my geeky stuff. I showed up at the robotics club, and this time I confidently strode over and immediately fixed their robot. I told you I could help. Don't judge a book by its cover. That's a celebrity's job. Look at you, all happy and smiley with your own loser nerd kind. Yeah, I'm happy, while you once tried and failed to be one of us, remember? Being a nerd isn't just about appearance, it's about what's inside. By the way, how was the concert? I heard your fanatic behavior got you kicked out. Sounds exciting. Chelsea and the celebs looked fuming as they sashayed off, but I didn't care, as I was finally back where I belonged. Hi everyone, I'm Andrea, but people here call me Feifei. Please like and subscribe. My life was extra special, because I had 2 home countries. Even though I was born in China, during our trip to America when I was 7, I got lost from my family. At first, I was really scared and lonely, but the more time I spent in the orphanage, the stronger and more independent I became. It seemed like this place was filled with my greatest childhood memories. Life went on just fine until I was 15. A miracle happened.
Feifei, Daddy finally found you!
I didn't fully understand how, but tears started streaming down my face. Dad didn't change one bit, but my mom had passed away. So I was introduced to my stepmom, May.
Our families finally reunited. Let's get back to China.
I sadly waved my friends goodbye and returned to my home country. We, the Li family, came from a long line of pottery makers, and this is the 5th generation. Dad said that before his grandparents took their last breath, their dying wish was to preserve the family craft. And as the only granddaughter of the family, I carried the noble responsibility of inheriting this pottery shop.
I believe in you. Make us proud.
While I was still processing everything, my parents already dragged me to my relative's house for a meet and greet. There must have been 20 people here, and I had to memorize all their names? Grandpa Zhu, Grandma Lian, Uncle Tang, and Aunt Hua? Luckily, I still remembered some simple phrases from my childhood and greeted them with my broken Chinese. Then, I heard them talking about a robbery at my house a couple days ago. Dad got a big order to polish 12 vases for the Ming Dynasty, but they were nowhere to be found all of a sudden. The customer wanted to press charges, causing a big trouble for our family. The police were involved, but since all cameras were smashed, it was impossible to find the culprit. The detective in me was woken up, so I ran to where my aunts were to eavesdrop. But before I could ask anything, Dad came and dragged me away.
It's none of your business, kiddo. Even if the police couldn't solve it yet. Focus on learning the trade.
A few days later, I started school, and boy, I thought I was smart, but Chinese characters defeated me. For crying out loud, those dancing letters and accents gave me a nightmare, and I was even reprimanded for using English in class. That's not all. Classes were followed immediately by ceramic lessons. Watching ceramic tutorials was fun, but practicing was a hard slap of reality. The more I practiced throwing clay, the more stupid shapes I created. Ugh, and there's clay all over my face and shirt. Clumsy me. Frustrated, I angrily yeeted a piece of clay across the room, then saw Dad glaring at me with his face darkened. Feifei just came here. She can't possibly learn that quickly. Give her some time. But Dad coldly dragged me to the ceramic gallery.
You know, pottery is about pouring souls into lifeless clay. Your great-grandfather used to make ceramics for the palace during the Qing dynasty. In wartime, the whole workshop was bombed, but your great-grandparents saved the most precious vases while fleeing the enemy till they died.
Dad's words made me realize how hasty and incompetent I was. I had to change. Then Dad introduced me to a guy.
This is Cody, my best apprentice, aka pottery prodigy. He'll be your teacher.
Cody's American, so communication was much easier. He's a great teacher who would always patiently fix my work to perfection, despite how many times I messed up. Cody's also friendly and easy to talk to. Some days our deep talks lasted until dawn. One time, while I was preparing the kiln, I accidentally found this half-burnt piece of paper in the corner. It looked not so normal because there was some handwriting that seemed important on it. I showed Cody and he said it could be a Chinese poem, but I couldn't figure out its meaning since most of it was lost. Dad said it was nonsense while my stepmom shook her head in confusion, but it somehow still bothered me. So I kept studying it for a few nights and I might have found a clue that could lead to the mysterious missing 12 vases. But that wasn't enough, so I decided to put it aside for now. Back to my daily routine. I was showered in my neighbors' and relatives' care. A bit too much. They always urged me to get married. When I was your age, I had 2 children already. But I'm not even 18 yet. Worse, they even sent some suitors to my house.
I've got a gift for you for our first meeting. This chicken lays a lot of eggs. If you marry me, your life will be full of roses. I only have one small request. My family wants many children, so we'll need to have 5 sons, 3 daughters, and a pair of twins.
They got me dizzy, so I sneaked out the back door to avoid running into another lunatic. The countryside sunset looked so peaceful.
Wow, didn't expect such strong pipes from a tiny body.
Creepy much? I turned to leave, but suddenly that guy grabbed my ponytail and pulled out my hair tie. I was gonna teach this jerk a lesson, but he somehow dodged every blow. Stand still so I could hit you.
Give me a kiss, then I'll give it back.
You wish? What a psycho! But somehow, now I and this psycho became friends, and we even got closer and closer after seeing each other every day at school. I realized Kai wasn't as annoying as I thought, and even grew sympathy for him when I learned that he also lost his mother when he was little. As his father was busy running his business, Kai was always unhappy and lonely. Now that he had my company, he cheered me up whenever I was sad, and frustrated about not getting better at pottery. However, Cody didn't seem too pleased with this. He appeared out of nowhere and dragged me away. Faye, that guy is a notorious lady killer. Stay away from him. He seems like just a regular dude to me. Okay, to tell you the truth, that guy is from the Wen family, our lifelong nemesis. If your dad knew about this, you're done. I'm a bit concerned, but life isn't a revenge drama. No one can stop me from seeing someone because of some familial feud. Still, I guess I should be careful.
Hey, what you hiding? Faye likes a free spirit. A boring guy only plays with clay all day. No chance.
Well, I think an innocent girl like Faye needs a calm, mature, and collected guy. Not some free-spirited, spoiled rich boy who only knows how to spend his parents' money. Every time this happened, I had to throw myself in between them and push them apart. One day, my stepmom caught me coming home after going out with Kai. I panicked and didn't know how to explain, but don't worry. Your secret's safe with me. You're stressed out enough. Then she called me in for a deep talk. She apologized for not giving me enough care and kindly asked if I had any difficulties since returning home. Actually, I like pottery, but I haven't improved no matter how hard I worked. The responsibility on my shoulders is so big that it pulls me down. I tried to put up a smile, but there were times that I felt suffocated. Don't push yourself too hard. If it's all too much, take a break and go back to America for a while. A healthy mind comes first and foremost. I'm so lucky to have an understanding stepmother. As soon as she left, Cody stepped out.
I didn't know you were under so much pressure. Don't worry, there are other ways to help your family besides making good pottery. You're smart. I know you can do it.
So, I started to practice performing tricks with ceramic vases, then set up a TikTok account to upload videos of my performances. They went viral in only a few weeks, gathering millions of views and propelled the pottery shop to fame. And with that, the number of orders grew rapidly. The national pottery competition was coming. My dad excitedly announced that it was a huge opportunity for our family. Our core team worked day and night to create a unique design that would make an impact. The big day finally arrived, and I was tasked with carrying the vase to the exhibition area. I was so excited to be there, but a stranger suddenly bumped into me, leaving me in shock for a few seconds. Oh my god, the vase! Panicked, I hurriedly checked, and luckily, it's okay. Whew, that was close. The competition officially began. I checked out the other displays. They all looked splendid, but the Wen's family vase literally shocked me to my core. It looked exactly like ours. I went straight there to confront them. This is clearly my family's design. You shameless thieves!
Watch your mouth, little girl. And you, keep an eye on your daughter. Don't let her bring shame to your family. Don't tell me how to raise my child. And the vase? The thief will soon be exposed. Come on, Faye.
I knew the design can be copied, but not the material. It's made with our family's secret technique. We had a special substance that made ceramics more durable. Now we just need a little luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner impressed us with its one-of-a-kind design and outstanding quality. The first prize goes to Wen family! However, we also found out one team's product is made with substandard material and under-fired. The judges also suspect them of plagiarizing the Wen's design. We can't accept such disrespect to the craft. Lee family, you're disqualified from this competition.
Before we could recover from the shock, the news already spread like wildfire. Kai tried to explain that he had nothing to do with this, but I didn't want anything to do with him anymore. The Wen family must have made a copy of our vase and swapped it with ours. But when? It's with me the whole time. It could only be... Our business took a nosedive. Orders were cancelled, most staff quit, and worse still, everyone here suspected that I swapped the vases since some of them saw me with Kai. My dad didn't take that news so well. He had a stroke and was hospitalized ASAP. No, I had to find out the truth, no matter what. Only 3 people knew the design. Dad, Cody, and me. Right, Cody would know what to do now. Unfortunately, he took some days off to take care of his sick mom, so I decided to come to him again. He'd gone shopping, so his mom welcomed me. Thank you for giving my son a chance and paying him handsomely. Without the money, I might not even be here anymore. Money? What money? My son spent sleepless nights for months to complete your vase. Isn't that why you paid him that well? What? We'd never made Cody work overtime. What money is she talking about? Right then, Cody got home. I immediately confronted him. He denied everything at first, but then he had to give in. Who hired you? Really, I don't know. They texted me from a blocked number, then wire transferred me the money. Faye, my mom's really sick and I had no choice. I never expect such terrible consequences. I'm so sorry, Faye. I ran away ASAP. I can't hear another word. The saddest thing about betrayal is that it never comes from your enemy. When I got home, my stepmom was cooking. Oh my, you look pale. Poor sweetie. I couldn't help but leaped into her arms and burst into tears. She tried to calm me down before bringing Dad his food. I know, I cannot be weak anymore. I'll find out who's behind all this. Whatever it takes. I rummaged through the workshop until late, only to find nothing. Exhausted, I went to sit by the gate for some fresh air, and suddenly saw something in the bush. An envelope. Looks fishy. To not leave any trace, I opened it with steam instead of tearing. It's a Chinese poem, and had the same style as the one I found the other day. By reading the first letter in each line, I got this message. Yo, Chang, Jian, Mian. Meet at the oil factory, it is. The message coded in the other poem also referred to a place. It's gotta be a sketchy meeting to have its spot written in code like that. I quickly put the letter back and searched for the only oil factory in town, then followed the address to an abandoned factory. I ran straight inside, but it was totally empty. Was I wrong? I felt defeated and was about to leave when I suddenly heard a voice from the second floor. I crept up and saw Kai's father with a gang wearing black, and our 12 stolen vases! Right then, a hand patted on my shoulder. What you doing? I turned around to see a creepy face, then pitch black. I opened my eyes with a splitting headache, and my hands all tied up. Who's this? My stepmother, who's arm in arm with Kai's father? Already awake? You're on their side? My father didn't mistreat you. This is how you return the favor? I've had enough of your old man, a tyrant and self-proclaimed smart man. I deserve someone who loves and pampers me, like Mr. Wen here.
If your father had been truly smart, he would have realized long ago that he had nurtured a serpent in his bosom. That Cody boy.
Just wait and see. I will expose your scheming. Ha! In your dream? I already bought a plane ticket back to America. Be prepared to be welcomed by another orphanage. I even wrote your old man a touching welfare letter. He'll definitely have another stroke once he reads it. The secret letter has exposed you, and other evidence will soon be found. You can't get away with this. Do you mean this, feisty girl? In fact, what letter? Just then, the wind blew and swept the burning letter to some old oil containers at the corner, setting it aflame. The fire spread with lightning speed. They all ran for their life, leaving me behind. The smoke was thick, stinging my eyes. I was about to faint when Cody kicked the door open, dashed in, and untied me. while Kai covered me with his jacket. You? There's no time! Run! Then quickly carried me away from the fire. When we got to safety, the entire factory exploded. Okay, can you two explain everything now?
I felt guilty about the pottery competition, so I secretly followed my father to find out the truth for you. I came to your house to apologize, but saw you rushing somewhere looking worried. That's why I decided to follow you, and I can't believe that the person hiring me is your stepmother.
Me neither. Anyway, thanks. But I'm still mad at you.
Are you okay now?
I'm fine. I'm not sure about them, though. Animators, please replay the previous scene. Yep, I managed to record everything. With this priceless evidence, of course my so-called stepmother and Wen had to plead guilty and go to prison. My father was discharged from the hospital, and our 12 ceramic vases were returned. Now that our family's name's cleared, business is booming. After this incident, I learned to cherish our pottery workshop more. Determined to continue my family business, I started learning pottery properly to prepare for next year's competition. Root for me, peeps! And of course, I still have these two guys by my side. Only it looks like they no longer want to just be friends with me. What should I do? Please help me by commenting down below if you're hashtag Team Kai or hashtag Team Cody.
Little Jasmine was playing football with her friends when they stopped because someone had to go pee. Yeah, I gotta go too. They all went to the woods, and Jasmine's jaw dropped upon seeing them. What in the world? Why are they all peeing standing up like that? Jasmine is the youngest child and only girl in an all-boy family. Her mother passed away when she was born, so she grew up with her father and 3 brothers. Her dad is a successful businessman who can ensure a happy life for his 3 sons, but struggles with Jasmine because he's only used to raising boys. Although he tried his best to raise a daughter, Jasmine became more like a 4th son. She has short hair, dresses like them, and plays her brother's games. She even tends to skip showers for days at a time. Her bedroom is messy and decorated with boy stuff. Her brothers even gave her a boy's name. One day while playing, her eldest brother, Gary, called over his younger siblings. Roll call! Like soldiers, the 3 younger siblings lined up from tallest to shortest, proclaiming their names loud and proud. Gary, Aaron, Nick, Jasmine? Her brothers looked at her, frowning disapprovingly. Then Gary had an idea. Nah, that doesn't sound right. How would you like a new name? A new name? Not a real new name. Just a nickname. Something cool we can call you. How about that? Sure. How about we call her Gucci? Gucci, like the luxury brand? Yeah, it sounds cool. So, how about that, Jasmine? You like Gucci? Jasmine nodded, and from that day forward, everyone called her Gucci. She learned to like it more than her real name, and as she grew up, she just assumed she was a boy. That is, until the incident happened today. Feeling absolutely bamboozled, Jasmine dashed home to tell her dad what she saw. Dad, am I a different type of boy? No, you're a girl, Jasmine. A girl? Does it matter? Not really. Okay, cool. That's all I need to know. After that, Jasmine still dressed up and played boys' games until a shocking event happened when she turned 12. One day at school, Jasmine suddenly felt very tired and her stomach hurt. Can I use the restroom, please? Yes, is everything okay? Yeah, But the moment she stood up, the boy sitting next to her started yelling to the rest of their classmates. Gucci, there's something on your pants! Jasmine looked down and her face started burning bright red. She was frozen as laughter erupted from the rest of the classroom. Unable to take another second of it, she sprinted from the room and didn't look back, despite her teacher shouting her name down the hall. Jasmine couldn't understand what was happening to her and frantically searched the school for her brothers. When she did find them, they were just as puzzled as she was, trying to figure out what to do. They didn't realize they had ended up in front of the nurse's office. Once safe inside the office, Jasmine asked, "Give it to me straight, ma'am. Am I dying?" No. Oh, my dog! I'm totally dying, aren't I? I got a big game coming up. I haven't even tried. You're not dying. It's called period, honey. Then how do I stop it from happening? You can't. It's gonna keep happening because you're becoming a woman. A woman? What the? But problems still followed Jasmine even after she entered high school. And one of those problems was mean girls. We all know you're gay, Gucci. Tell us who you have a crush on. Well, I've liked you for a long time, Tiffany. Want to go on a date? In your dreams. Jasmine was pleased with herself as the group of girls stormed off. One day, Jasmine was walking down the stairs when she slipped, but someone caught her. She looked up at her savior to find Mike, the new student/angel who just joined her high school. This was the first time Jasmine had felt her heart beat so fast. Not counting the time she accidentally peed on her father's Persian rug when she was 4 years old. Hey, shut your front door! At that moment, Jaden quickly took the opportunity, pretended to fall on the two of them, and uttered a line that still makes him admire his own disguise skills to this day. Ouch! Ouch! My ankle! Who the fudge spilled water all over the stairs? Jasmine turned to look at the person who had just spoken. Then a hand reached out. You okay, bro? Jasmine blushed and looked up. She saw Mike offering her his hand and shyly reached for it. But suddenly, it hit her. He called me bro! From then on, Jasmine continuously ran into Mike in class, in the library, and found herself falling for him. But every time Jasmine greeted him, hey, what's up, bro? But Jasmine didn't want him to be her bro. She wanted him to be her beau. She decided it was time to do something. Jasmine secretly put food and lollipops in Mike's locker and was caught by Tiffany. You know that's a boy's locker, don't you? Sorry if you're disappointed it's not yours. Why don't you just quit while you're ahead, Gucci? Mike is into real girls. I bet he doesn't even know you're supposed to be one. As Tiffany laughed, Jasmine turned bright red with anger. Storming away, she was determined to become the kind of girly girl Mike could fall for. Jasmine thought she would have to change from the inside out, so this would be her first destination. However, out of much embarrassment, she resorted to wearing a hoodie to fully cover herself. Jasmine suddenly noticed a saleswoman following her around the store. I'm gonna need security to get over here now. This dude is sus. No, I'm just browsing. I'm trying to find a birthday gift for my, sister. Ah, right on. We have some lacy ones, bright colors like neon green, and hot yellow that dudes really like. Jasmine felt dizzy. Just imagining wearing any of these made her feel embarrassed. Quickly, she thanked the saleswoman for her help and told her she'd come back, then hurried out of the store. How is being a girl so difficult? I wish I had some girlfriends to help with this. I have no clue what I'm doing. As soon as Jasmine got outside, she noticed Jaden checking himself out in front of a glass door. Excellent! My cover as Jaden is perfect. No one's gonna know who I really am. Jeez, this guy again. He seemed so self-obsessed. So much more girly than I could ever be. Jasmine then immediately came up with this brilliant idea, but Jaden had already left. The next day, Jasmine saw Jaden again, who was enthusiastically chatting with the gossip girls. Do these girls know how to get to the point? This gossip is exhausting. I just need them to say something relevant about Mike so I can get on with this investigation. When the mean girls left, Jasmine finally worked up the nerve to approach him with her proposition. Can you help me be more like those other girls? Like what? Chatty? More, feminine? No thanks. Oh, come on. I know you have it inside. I don't have time for this nonsense. I have a job to do. Jaden started walking away, but Jasmine wasn't going to take no for an answer. Please, I want to get Mike to like me, and he only likes girly girls. Jaden realized this could be a good opportunity for him to get to Mike, instead of directly approaching him, which could easily raise suspicion, so he agreed. Together, Jaden and Jasmine found out that he seemed to be into designer stuff. He also adored Kendall Jenner very much. Looks like Mike has expensive tastes. Money's not a problem. Then she dragged Jaden to the mall. They bought all kinds of designer dresses, high heels, and bags, which made Jaden's jaw totally drop. Jeez, I didn't expect you to be rich. My dad is a collector of sorts. He likes antiques and things. You know, like those fancy old Persian carpets, original artwork, porcelain vases and things. He has a good job, so I guess he can afford such an expensive hobby. Then Jaden also taught Jasmine how to walk and behave like a girl. Jasmine struggled a lot. She was just so used to acting like a boy that acting like a girl was more foreign to her than her dad's Nordic glassware. How come you're better at being a girl than I am? Because I spent endless days and nights doing research on this character so I could easily master all this girly stuff. Oh, I guess it's all in my genes. And that made Jasmine fall over laughing. The following day, Jasmine came to school with her brand new look and was immediately thrust into the spotlight. However, the only ones who didn't seem to notice were Mike and Tiffany. This plan seems like a bust. You can't lose the race before you've even reached the starting line. He seems to have even more faith in me than I have in myself. Gotta trust the process, I guess. And indeed, the following days, Jaden tried his best to help Jasmine approach Mike. At lunch, when Mike passed their table, Jaden designedly dropped Jasmine's apple, which he caught just before it hit the ground. Can I sit here? After a few days, Mike fell for it hook, line, and sinker. He tracked Jasmine down at the end of the day to ask her out.
So, things didn't work out between you and Tiffany?
Psh, no. I found out all her designer clothes were knockoffs. Can you believe that? I just hate liars. Don't you?
Yeah, totally.
Anyway, is that yes to a date?
Absolutely.
Who fell for it hook, line, and sinker then? Soon enough, Jasmine and Mike were officially dating, and Jaden didn't miss this chance to follow them 24/7. Jaden always seemed to appear out of nowhere to interrupt their conversations. So, tell us a little more about yourself, Mike. Where do you live? What does your dad do for work? Well, I lost my mom when I was too young to remember her, and I've basically lived with my nanny ever since. Dad comes around sometimes, but he spends a lot of time on business trips.
That must be rough. I mean, I also lost...
Why so busy? What exactly does he do? Mike's face seemed darkened, and Jasmine couldn't help but be a bit annoyed with Jaden's constant presence. She wasn't sure who was dating Mike anymore, but there were benefits to having Jaden around all the time. He seemed to be Jasmine's savior when it came to ordering food, as Mike had a terrifyingly strict diet and skincare routine. Is there anything quality on this menu? I can't eat any of these greasy, fried, fatty foods. No soda either. Only smoothies or sugar-free milk. I also go to the gym 4 times a week and spend the rest at a spa. You should come with me sometime.
Sure. That sounds cool.
In order to keep her girly image, Jasmine tried to delicately take a few bites of the salad and ignored her grumbling stomach. Luckily, Mike had to leave early, so once he was out of sight, Jaden slid his full plate of food over to Jasmine. Here, you could act in your natural habitat now. Thank you so much. As Jasmine began eagerly scarfing down his food, Jaden reached for Mike's unfinished drink and took a sip. What the heck is this poison?
I should have you know that was the only thing Mike found acceptable on the menu. A sugar-free kale smoothie.
Ick. No wonder he couldn't even finish it. Then they had a great evening talking and dining on deliciously greasy, fried, fatty foods. As they were walking back home, Jasmine twisted her ankle, still not used to wearing high heels. Without thinking, Jaden quickly piggybacked Jasmine and continued walking. Comfortable quietness fell over them. Becoming self-conscious, Jasmine broke the silence.
Am I, too heavy for you?
Actually, yeah, next time, cut down on the chicken before twisting an ankle.
How dare you!
I'm kidding. You're fine. You're not heavy at all. I mean, maybe a little.
Oh, shut up, you jerk! The two shared their cheerful laughter under the streetlights.
Meanwhile, after seeing Jasmine and Mike together, Tiffany threw a tantrum and thought to herself she wouldn't let them off that easily. One day, when Jasmine and Mike were discussing where to go out next time, Jaden immediately seized the chance. Let's go to Mike's house. Come on. Alrighty then, my house it is. Let's go. When they arrived, Jaden couldn't stop admiring the house and looked everywhere, but only God knew he was just looking for clues. Staying fully in character, Jaden touched a little bit of everything, clinging on to Mike and gushing over everything. This house is beautiful and huge. It must be awesome living basically by yourself with all this. Is your dad around by any chance? We'd love to meet him. Meanwhile, Jasmine was becoming a little uncomfortable with how obsessed with Mike Jaden seemed to be.
Is he gay? I mean, that's fine, but he could just say that.
Later, when the two of them were alone, Jasmine figured it was time to confront Jaden.
Hey, I was wondering, do you, have a crush on my boyfriend?
Jaden was dumbfounded for a second, and before he could think more about it, he slyly smiled and pressed Jasmine against the wall. What makes you think so? I'm into girls. Jasmine couldn't think straight with Jaden's face so close to hers. Want me to prove it to you? Flustered, she hurriedly pulled away, heart fluttering, blushing profusely.
I would like you to stop being a third wheel then. Thank you for helping me approach Mike and all, but now that we're dating, I would appreciate it if you could give us some space. Please.
Jaden was taken aback for a second, then calmly said, You're right. Sorry. I'll back off. Being the third wheel all this time hasn't gotten me any info on Mike's dad anyway. He really was laying low, and maybe Mike didn't even know anything about what his father was doing. The FBI might need to find another way to approach this investigation. Little did Jaden know, Jasmine had become an unexpected factor in his investigation plan.
How's it possible that I've never set foot in a place this close to me before? It's kind of dark and eerie. If only it was covered in flowers, then it'd totally be a Disney castle. Oh, someone's here. I went to say hi, but she didn't seem very welcoming.
Stay away from this spooky place before it sucks the life out of you, young girl.
So that means you're not working here anymore? The maid just shook her head before she hurried off. Here comes my chance! Hey guys, Jocasta here. And this Dracula-esque castle is none other than Mr. Joseph Williams. Are you wondering who that is? I'm curious too. All I know about him is that he's my parents' creditor, and I'm here to ask him to extend the deadline for their debt. But as one of his maids just quit, I could work here to pay off the debt instead, right? Hello, I'm Jocasta, your new maid. No answer. Should I just come in? If anything, the master should blame the old maid for leaving the gates open. So I had to find my own way inside. Hello? I'm the new maid. Master, are you here? No? Not here. Not here either. Is he still sleeping at this hour? Oh, there he is. Huh? He's not old and gray like I thought he'd be. I introduced myself, then he returned to his painting and coldly said,
Work off your debt? Fine. Let's see how long you'll last. Just keep in mind, don't ever make me angry.
Oh, master, you're worrying over nothing. I wouldn't even care about you. But turns out he wasn't worrying over nothing. He's actually infuriatingly difficult. The curtains must remain drawn during nighttime. There must be absolutely no noise at all, and his bedroom is strictly forbidden.
Who gave you permission to sit there?
Oops, I forgot. I must keep a distance of 10 feet from him at all times, even during meals. Phew, finally it's time to rest. Though I've been working here for a couple of days, I'm still not used to Master Joseph's ridiculous rules. Huh? What's that staring at me? Ah! Rats! There's a rat! Help!
What on earth are you shrieking about at this hour? You dare to disturb my sleep?
Master, save me! There it is! It's coming! He stood bravely like a warrior, ready to fight the beast. Look at his broad shoulders, his hair, his chiseled face, and his every movement is so smooth. That hideous rat was finally running scared. What a relief!
You're making a fuss over nothing. Move to another room tomorrow. This one is too shabby.
Looking closely, my fastidious master looks kinda handsome, doesn't he? Well, living here isn't so bad now that I've got the hang of his rules.
Bring me a cup of tea.
Yes, master. Here you go.
Pass it to me.
Huh? Are we off social distancing now? I excitedly handed him the cup of tea, but he missed it and tea spilled all over him.
Clumsy dummy! Can't you look at what you're doing?
I hurriedly wiped the stain on his clothes and apologized profusely, but he roared again.
Stop! How dare you come this close to me? Get out!
Jeez, his temperament changed like the seasons. Hot, cold, whatever. I'll just go home then. Indeed, no place like home. Oh, how comfy. I told Judy, my bestie, about my week working in the castle. Interested? Wanna come with me someday? No chance. Haven't you seen anything unusual there? Then Judy said rumor had it that a mad scientist once lived there, and werewolves too, as horrible howls could be heard during a full moon. You have to be careful. There's a reason why no one goes there. Oh no, it's today. Wolves howling under the moon? Never mind, Judy is just being childish. Who still believes in such fiction? Definitely not me. So, ta-da! I'm back again. Honestly, I need this job. I can't let him fire me, even if I have to cling to his leg and beg, but where is he? Should I opened the door to see him lying there, surrounded by dull paintings, while tools scattered everywhere. What happened? I tried lifting him, nudged him. Still, he wouldn't come around. Then suddenly, his eyes opened. Hey, the 10-foot rule doesn't apply because that was an emergency. Have you eaten anything since yesterday? As I thought, if you still want to kick me out now, you'll have nothing to eat. After that incident, Joseph seemed more at ease. He stopped threatening me with his rules and just let me ramble on. One time, when I was napping on the couch after cleaning, he even put a blanket on me. I haven't slept yet, dear master. Then one day, a middle-aged woman appeared at the gate. She introduced herself as Joseph's mom and gifted him a beautiful bird. But she didn't come inside and just sarcastically said,
"Oh, my son's got a new maid again? This weird boy. So sorry for you, poor girl."
I brought the bird to Joseph, excitedly told him that his mom just dropped by. Look what lovely present she got you.
Lovely? That woman's just mocking me. I'm stuck in this place like a bird in a cage.
I think it's a thoughtful gift. You seem to like painting birds.
Stop prying. This is none of your business.
Okay, I'm sorry. But it's your own choice to isolate yourself from the outside world. Come with me. I have something special to show you. Oh, this place is still as gorgeous as the first time I came here. Looks like Joseph is mesmerized too. See? The world is beautiful. You just need to look. We were walking along the blooming flower path. Then suddenly,
He's coming! The wolf! Wolf!
then all the gardeners immediately scrammed in panic.
What have I done to you, you morons? Beautiful, you say?
Then Joseph stormed off. I tried to catch him, but ouch! I tripped over a rock. Oh, it hurts! It freaking hurts!
Then let me apply the antiseptic cream.
No, that will only make it worse. Maybe doing something fun could ease the pain. I'll be distracted from this. Please, can we watch a movie? And of course, he couldn't refuse. Oops, awkward. Clearly I didn't think it through when picking this rom-com. Wonder what my master is thinking. Oh gosh, there's no need to be that emotional. His scary appearance startled me. Eyes turned white, mouth snarled, as if he wanted to eat me alive. I tried to stay calm to ask him what was going on, but Joseph was like a madman, frantically smashing things and howling. Stop, Joseph! Please don't do it! Ah, my arm! Realizing that he just hurt me, Joseph seemed to regain his senses. He then ran off in a panic. I quickly hugged him. It's okay, calm down. Once he'd felt better, he started telling me his biggest secret. Since childhood, he'd had difficulty controlling his emotions, which often led to outbursts of anger. Later on, the moon also triggered this reaction after his stepfather passed away on a full moon night, and it then became traumatizing because Joseph feared he'd been the cause of his death. That was also the cause of the tension between him and his mother.
I think I was born with this strange condition. As a child, my stepfather used to give me some medicine to keep it under control.
His stepfather used to give him pills? Judy also mentioned the mad scientist who used to live here. Is that... I have to figure it out. One night, I sneaked into the room that Joseph forbade me to enter. On rummaging around, I found a tape that showed me the whole terrifying plan of his stepfather to regularly give Joseph a power-boosting pill as an experiment, and also to take him to the mountains to test out some new crazy invention. What on earth was that? But I can't tell Joseph right away. He needs to be mentally stable first. So I started off by taking him out for a walk, and when he felt comfortable enough, I suggested we go downtown together for some grocery shopping. He was just like a hedgehog, prickling up every time someone accidentally touched him. But of course, I know how to tame this hot headmaster, just like this. There you go. Then we started tidying and redecorating the whole castle to liven up the mood of this place. When we got to the last room, his stepfather's, he seemed a bit hesitant. It's been so long. This room also needs cleaning, else the furniture may become damaged. Do you know anything about your stepfather's videos?
How do you know?
Then Joseph searched for a memory card, then gave it to me.
I was so scared that I hid it and never dared look at it. I wanted to destroy it once, but on second thought, it contains the last images of my stepdad, so I've always kept it here.
Huh? This wasn't what I meant. So there's another video apart from the ones I saw. This may shed light on everything. If you don't mind, can I watch that video? I'm quite curious. From that day, we never spoke of the videos again. Instead, we went for walks, cooked, and meditated together. And today's schedule is this art exhibition. Look at his surprised face. They look familiar, right? Don't tell me you don't recognize your own artwork.
It seems that each painting tells a story. I can't wait to know who the artist is. They must be an experienced and profound person.
I knew it. These compliments will help him erase his own self-doubts. Back from the exhibition, we noticed a delicious smell coming from the dining room. Who could that be? It was Joseph's mother. Joseph seemed surprised by his mom's presence, but I wasn't, because I was the director behind the scene. In fact, I secretly asked her to organize that exhibition. Watching the video cleared everything up. On that moonlit night, the mad scientist took Joseph to the mountains to test the effects of a super power-boosting concoction. But when he saw Joseph reacting abnormally, he panicked and ran away, so the accident happened. It wasn't Joseph's fault. He was, in fact, a victim. I told Joseph's mom the truth beforehand, which led to this touching reconciliation. Now that things were clear as day, they have untied the knot in their hearts. His mother decided to move here to help him overcome his trauma of the moon with me. Oh, he also told me about the time he dropped a teacup on purpose as an excuse to push me away so that I'd be safe. How sweet and caring he is. Oh shoot, who left this curtain open? I hurried over to close it when suddenly a hand gently touched mine.
Before you came, I really never thought I'd ever have the courage to face moonlight. But Jocasta, with you by my side now, anything feels possible.
Hi, I'm Miley Cyrus. You've probably heard some of my songs like Wrecking Ball, The Climb, and Flowers from my latest chart-topping album, Endless Summer Vacation. Although my most loyal fans have known me since my Disney Channel days. This story isn't about me though. Today I'm narrating the life of a young star from the South, just like me. I'll tell you why later. For now, please like and subscribe. I know all about being famous at a young age, and trust me, no glory comes without blood, sweat, and tears. And Scarlett Spencer was no exception. Her journey to stardom began in a small town in Texas. Her mother passed away long ago. Still, she grew up happily with her dad who owned a little diner, and her baby sister Naomi. These two were polar opposites. The quiet, introverted Scarlett helped out at the diner, while Naomi, who was in high school, lived and breathed social media. Give me a phone, mine's out of juice. Man, this brick's been only to call and text for years. It should have something new. In case you still haven't figured it out, well, Naomi's creating an Instagram account under her sister's name to post pics. Give it back! I need it now! Naomi, I already said I don't like social media. What's with this photo and the Ritz-Carlton and ridiculous caption? We were just there for Dad's delivery. Relax. Everybody has a social media presence these days. That photo will get you tons of hearts and followers. Honestly, if my sister ever did that to me, she would have been 6 feet under by now. But Scarlett let Naomi off the hook, because to her, Naomi was her bestest friend, who she could tell everything to, while Scarlett was the best sister she could ask for. Naomi knew she'd never find anyone else who'd satisfy her every whim like that. They frequented this spot by the lake for a stroll, a jog, or simply pouring their hearts out. I want to go where culture is, like New York or LA. The only thing exciting in this town is probably a party bus that comes by every millennium. You're a big dreamer, and that's good, but isn't a peaceful and quiet life nice too? Bless their hearts. They have no idea what's in store for them, but it's really hard to imagine that their uneventful lives could change. All of a sudden, when their dad got in an accident and lost his job. With no relatives, the family was dealt the worst hand. Scarlett alone couldn't manage the diner, Dad's medical bill, as well as Naomi. Then one day, their dad set them down, looking seriously insistent. I know that this is a lot to take in, but your mother, she's still alive. This is her. What? We got divorced and cut all ties long ago. I never spoke of it 'cause it's too complicated. Now that your old man is in this situation, you should go to your mother and shouldn't have to suffer because of me. Both of them were too shocked to speak. Scarlett went to her room, the photo squeezed tightly in her hand. Is this really my mother? When are we leaving? What are you excited about? All we have is this address and her photo. What if she won't accept us as her daughters? She abandoned us all those years, remember? It's still worth a try. Do you know, I've lost count how many times I've wished for a mother. And then this happened, like a miracle. Scarlett tossed and turned all night because of what her father revealed just now, while Naomi thought long and hard about what she would wear. The next morning, the sisters got up early and went to the address on the note, which led them to a magnificent building, Elite Talent Management. They stepped inside with bewilderment written all over their faces. Excuse me, we're looking for Mrs. Athena Kinsley? Perfect timing. Miss Kinsley's here this week for our statewide audition. In fact, she's right behind you. They were both in awe to see a woman who exudes sophistication and confidence. Naomi rushed to her. Excuse me, ma'am, are you Athena Kinsley? The woman gracefully turned around, lowered her shades, and scanned them both from head to toe. Hello, I'm Naomi Spencer, and this is my sister Scarlett. We, believe you're our mother. Does the name Joseph Spencer ring any bell to you? He's our dad. He told us to come find Mom. You. That was awkward, but they got a reaction out of the Ice Queen. She was shooketh, but quickly regained composure. You two, come with me. Clear my schedule. The girls followed her with uncertainty. When they reached the elevator, everyone inside immediately got out. Some of them even bowed to her. During the elevator ride, Scarlett and Naomi looked at each other in confusion about this lady who's supposedly their mother. Athena got down to business as soon as the door closed. I thought your father wanted you to forget that I existed. But here you are. Start talking. While Scarlett talked, Naomi looked around Athena's office with great excitement. Her eyes lit up when she saw a photo of Athena with Beyoncé. Dad needs... Did you work with Beyoncé? Yes, she's still one of my clients. Miley Cyrus, Jennifer Lawrence, Britney Spears. I've worked with all of them. Surprise! The truth's finally out. I actually agreed to tell this story to return a favor Athena did for me when I parted ways with Disney. Rough times, but totally worth it. Okay, continue. As I was saying, Dad needs physical therapy and a private nurse, but we can afford neither. He needs your help. Mom? This is the first time we've spoken in so long, and you're just asking for money? I'm afraid it can't be that easy. Really? This is our father, your ex-husband. Jeez, why did I even bother coming here asking the person who abandoned us for help? Naomi, we're leaving. Sit down. I didn't say no, but I won't hand you a huge bag of cash for nothing. Instead, you can work for it. You do have a pretty face and quite a feisty character, and I have everything you'd need to get far in this business. How does that sound? That took a turn, but Naomi was even more surprised than I am. Why isn't Mom asking her, but only her sister? Her introverted anti-social media sister. No thanks. I want a nice breezy life and zero limelight. We'll figure something out. Without you! On their way home, Naomi kept nagging Scarlett for refusing a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. She left us. That was the first time we met after so long, yet she didn't fake a smile and even try to exploit us. Can't you see that? No! You assume she abandoned us. Dad kept her a secret all these years, so we must have lied about that too. Mom's offer is a win-win deal. Don't you see how respected she is? Despite seeing Naomi's point, Scarlett was still stubborn. The way I see it, they don't have much time to argue, because right at that moment, their dad was having a heart attack. Luckily, the girls arrived home right on time and brought him to the ER. After hours in the ICU, his condition became stable, but needed further observation. Scarlett's face got paler with every word the doctor said about her father's treatment. I'm no accountant, but this bunch of hospital bills surely sounds bad. Sis, Mom's offer still stands. Do something before it's too late. Scarlett reluctantly came to see Athena again. Before signing, Scarlett had a few demands. She'd receive a fair cut of the profit and will not owe Athena anything once the contract is no longer in effect, as well as a signing advance. Also, per contract, Athena would be Scarlett's manager. This is actually very common. My mom Tish has been my manager to this day, but that's me. I can't talk about her case. Scarlett immediately transferred her dad to the best hospital in Texas. Looking at his unconscious state, she got all the motivation she needed before leaving for the city, thoughts about her future swirling in her mind. From the start, Scarlett said she didn't want anyone to know they're related. Athena, being the professional she was, agreed. Then, Operation Ultimate Fashionista commenced. First off, an extensive daily workout for 3 hours with a personal trainer. Scarlett was used to physical labor, so she didn't break a sweat. But when she found out about the strict diet she had to follow, Scarlett realized she's in hell. What's wrong with you? You make me work out but don't let me eat? Silly girl. Don't you know the camera's at 10 pounds? You'll look like a manatee in your photos unless you lose weight. Almost forgot. Scarlett moved into Athena's mansion for her private training, while Naomi stayed home for school. At the moment, Scarlett was lonely on an empty stomach. I can understand how she's feeling, because I went through the same ordeal when I started touring at age 13. Scarlett decided to sneak out in the middle of the night to search for food. However, Athena was one step ahead and already locked the pantry. Hey sis, you caught me in the middle of my midnight supper. Oh my god, this food is bussin'. Anyway, how's Dad? I can't hear you. What's the weird noise? The sound of my pain and suffering. Watching you mukbang sure made it worse. Bye! And I'm sick of this food and this life. I need to find out how I can move to the city. Meanwhile, poor Scarlett could only sleep off her hunger, as she had to be up at 6 for training. Show business doesn't only demand talent and looks, but also the ability to handle being in the public eye. Sometimes you're a slip of tongue away from fading into oblivion. Media training was invented so we can learn to be public figures. That entire morning was spent on correcting Scarlett's posture, walk, and mannerisms. One more time, action! Hi, besties! Get ready with me to go to a ball! Stop! What now? Your accent. It's too distracting. Should we get rid of it? Perhaps tone it down a bit. It'll make her stand out, but we don't want too many risks. Risks? This is how I talk! Not anymore. That's enough for today. Thanks for coming in. Scarlett, of course, had no say in any of this. Now Athena's the one driving, and Scarlett's only in the passenger seat. Is she trying to make me a star or a slave? Can't she at least not look like Grumpy Cat and sound like a dictator all the time? Jeez, I have to learn strange stuff and change so much about myself. There's nothing wrong with my weight or accent. What's all this for? Sis, everyone who wants to be famous has to learn everything you just said. And the people Mom works with are all big names in the industry. So cool. Mom? To her, I only exist during business hours. I'm sure she wants the best for you. How about this? Ask her if I could come live with you. I could be your mediator. The responsible big sister side of Scarlett thought that's not a great idea, but the lonely teenager in her was craving some company. So she asked and got Athena's approval right away. Naomi coming here is like returning to her natural habitat. This is amazing. Thanks, Mom. I can't wait to see this city. I don't have time to show you around. But here, take a cab and buy yourself something. Is it just me, or does she seem to get along much better with Mom? I totally see it too, Scarlett. When Scarlett's image became much more marketable, Athena got her first ever fashion photo shoot. But since this was Scarlett's first time modeling, she struggled the whole day, but couldn't seem to have any good shots.
Let's try again. Remember, we want clean, athletic, smiley. Yeah, and she's giving dirty, tired, and paunchy. Everyone take 10.
That's it! Look at all this stuff, guys. Isn't it crazy? Ah! What's wrong? Talk to me. I can't take this anymore. She is vicious. She doesn't give a flying crap that I beat myself up trying and orders me around like a puppet. This is draining me day by day. I'm exhausted. Naomi could only offer little comfort pats while listening to Scarlett's rant, but she's secretly thinking that her sister didn't know this was the life that others would kill to have. Little did Scarlett know, Naomi came to Athena immediately afterward. Mom, I want to be famous too. Make me. Sorry, that's a no. What does Scarlett have that I don't? I can do everything she does with a smile. You're only seeing this at a surface level. Scarlett's got that X factor. That's why I chose her. She's special, and you're not. That's it. She doesn't want that anyway. Who says? Show me. Never mind. Naomi sulkily walked out when she ran straight into Scarlett. What on earth happened? You wouldn't understand. This time, Scarlett got a better grip of the job and became more confident. Then her followers grew quickly when she had a few viral videos. Those numbers translate to more high-profile promo campaigns and countless PR packages from brands. Most of her free PR stuff went to Naomi, though. Scarlett got recognized and asked for photos more often whenever she went out, and she gradually and strangely loved it. Athena seemed to be satisfied and not giving her a hard time anymore, and even flashed the first smile. Most importantly, there's more money to go towards their dad's treatment.
Thanks, my darlings. The doctors could proceed with every necessary procedure, so I'll be discharged any day now. By the way, does your mother treat you well?
She'd better.
Soon you won't need to bend over backwards anymore.
When Dad gets better, this will all be over? Why do I suddenly feel kinda empty? Are you not happy to see Dad get better? What? No! Of course I'm happy for him! Right then, Naomi saw something that could change everything. What's that? Nothing. Scarlett's on cloud 9 to see all those times of intensive training, diet, and exercise finally bear fruits. Today, Athena even called her to her office. Maybe she wants to discuss the next trip, or plan to move to LA.
I want to terminate our contract, effective immediately.
What? What?
You'll be compensated for this untimely breach of contract, which would be enough to cover everything, and…
Hold on, why?
You're no fit.
Am I not getting more popular? What do you mean?
You won't last.
But it can still be a source of income. Why cut it completely? More profit for you too, right? Isn't that your sole target in doing this? Or are you afraid that I'll come back to bite you once I've made it?
Watch your tongue. Regardless, we won't be working together. That's final.
Tell me, are you scared people will figure out that I'm your daughter? Right, you never even came to see my frail, bedridden father. I never needed a mother like you anyway.
Then a smack landed on Scarlett's face. She held her left cheek, eyes wide open, and glared at the person standing in front of her with great fury.
I sprinted to the cafeteria, hoping that there would be something tasty left. This was my teacher's fault. She made me stay behind after class.
Mindy, your grades are too low. Yada yada.
Oh no! All I saw were empty trays everywhere. My stomach rumbled at the thought of having to return to class hungry. But then, like a mirage in the desert, the last loaf of bread, chillin' next to Tom the Hottie. Without a second thought, I grabbed it and bit into it. Chewy. Very chewy. Then suddenly, everyone burst out laughing. That's when it hit me. There was no bread. I was munching on Tom's ballet shoes. Hey, I'm Mindy, and I belong to a family of champion weightlifters. Yep, my dad's genes explain why I'm the tallest girl in school. I used to long to become a weightlifter just like Dad, but then I met my BFF, Tiffany. Suddenly, I discovered a world of pretty dresses and delicate spins called figure skating, and I couldn't look at my ugly weightlifting shorts in the same way again. Tiff took me ice skating at the mall, and I loved it. Since then, that's all I've wanted to be. Okay, so I may not be petite like Tiff, but I was smart enough to use algorithms to calculate angles during training. Tiff and I both got scholarships into this amazing sports-focused high school, and yeah, that's when the trouble started. It didn't matter what cute outfits I wore or how normal I tried to be. Being a giraffe made me stand out, and being with pretty, petite Tiff made it worse. The only ones who didn't ignore me were the weightlifting team, but that's only because my dad was their coach. Then, to make things even worse, my clumsiness and appetite of an elephant accidentally got me on Tom's bad side. This was bad, as almost every girl and guy in this place was obsessed with him. Ever since then, no one took me seriously, and trying to avoid my dad so he didn't lecture me on giving up skating for weightlifting was tiring. I was in the changing rooms when Tiff came over. Oh, I forgot it was the annual health check day today. I shouldn't have eaten that muffin earlier. Oh, no, I forgot about that too. No way could I have my weight published for the entire school to see. I'd be nicknamed Mindy the Massive. So when no one was looking, I sneaked out of there. But trying to find a hiding spot big enough for this oversized body isn't easy. The janitor's closet. But as I hurried toward it, I bumped into Tom. Have you ever heard of ladies first? You call yourself a lady? Fine, lady. Let me have this. In exchange, I have this very yummy snack for you. What snack? This bread. How dare you! At that moment, the door suddenly swung open, and the janitor yelled at us to stop kissing? Ugh, what? Thanks to this unnecessary misunderstanding, we ended up in the principal's office along with our parents. My dad even brought the entire weightlifting team along and started throwing a tantrum. Mindy, you skipped classes. I couldn't mention the health checkup, so in a panic, I babbled out, I was on a date with Tom. Who would ever date you, Miss Brahma Bull? Then there was a loud bang as my dad smashed the table in half. Bull? Who are you calling a bull? I mean, Mindy is strong and cute, just like a bull. Our love language is a bit, special, isn't it, honey? Oh, my lovey donkey. You're revealing a little too much. Everyone gasped in shock, and the next thing I knew, Dad burst into tears of joy and started hugging everyone. My pumpkin finally has a boyfriend. This calls for a party at my house, but if you ever break my little girl's heart, you're doomed. I thought it was just a white lie, until the next day the stampede of students bombarded me with questions. How long have you and Tom been together? Who made the first move? You or him? You have to come sit with us. So this white lie had actually grown legs and was sprinting. But strangely, this feels interesting. Suddenly, I wasn't just Tiffany's oddball sidekick anymore. Instead, I had all the limelight. And this shouldn't be ending so soon. No, I had to extend my fake dating with Tom. So right when Tom walked by, I immediately dragged him away amid the roars of approval from the students. The entire weightlifting team is spying on us. Do you want to feel my dad's wrath if he finds out you were lying to him? You started this. I don't think my dad will see it that way. Fine, I'll play your boyfriend. And you stop eating my shoes. Deal. So we continued the dating facade, but I didn't expect that the weightlifting team actually was spying on us everywhere. We had to keep up the act. Tom escorted me to all of my classes, stuck adorable notes on my locker, and during lunch, he fed me spaghetti and used his sleeve to wipe the sauce off my mouth. We ended up spending most of our time together, and the spies definitely thought we were the real deal. I knew this was all just an act, but he was like a big cheese ball. My cheese ball, so still, it felt good. The more time I spent with Tom, the more I found myself liking him. He listened as I told him how hard I worked to get into the school, and in return, I learned new aspects about him, such as how much he loved ballet dancing, even though his family and his former friends hadn't always been understanding about it, and that his cold exterior was due to this, as he didn't want anyone who would question his dreams in his life again. We started growing closer, and he did some super cute things, such as cheering me on during skating practice and bringing me hot chocolate to warm me up. I was enjoying getting to know Tom, but unfortunately, not everyone was a part of our fan club. No matter what I said, Tiff wouldn't believe that he was anything other than a bad boy. She would send me endless texts just to force me to choose between Tom and her. I knew ever since Tom appeared, I spent less time with her, but she was being too much. To top it off, she even lied about being injured during practice to ruin my date. I gave Tiff the cold shoulder after that. She needed to reflect on her actions. One day I was sorting out my locker when Rachel, one of the most popular girls in our team, aka Tiff's rival, approached me and asked me to join her group. But what about Tiff? Tiff always told me that Rachel's no good, and what's wrong? Do you have to ask for Tiffany's permission before befriending someone? Or what? Aren't you more famous than she is? Right! I need to stop being seen as her sidekick. I have my own choice, my own friends. So I agreed to join Rachel's group. And I gotta admit, it's pretty sweet being with a popular clique. And on the other hand, dating the cutest boy. Spending all this time with Tom made me realize something. I had feelings for him. Real feelings. Pretty soon I found I couldn't help but babble about Tom all the time to Rachel. Oh, honey, you're so cute. But I don't think you should keep seeing that guy. Huh? Why? Okay, I see. Now you're acting like Tiff too. No, I mean, there's a rumor that he's dating someone behind your back. Tiff. I saw them looking cozy together. What? No way! But Tiff did seem jealous, and she did ruin my date with Tom, so maybe there was some truth to this. Rachel's words were bugging me, so after school, I went to Tiff's house to ask her about it. That's when I saw Tiff crying in Tom's arms. Rachel was right. Tiff and Tom were together. I left before either of them saw me. Sobbing, I texted Tom ending our fake relationship and blocked both numbers. The next day at school, everyone was gossiping about how Tom had left me for Tiff. And worst of all, being the giant I was, I couldn't hide away from it. Even Rachel and her group turned on me. What's wrong? Have you fallen off your high horse? Once an ugly duckling, always an ugly duckling. I couldn't bear staying there and watching them laughing at me, so I left school and went back home. I wasn't going back there, and no one could make me. I locked myself in my room and refused to leave it until...
Is this because of that Tom? Pumpkin, I'll teach him a lesson.
I reluctantly opened the door.
Mindy, you look terrible. What's happened?
It all became too much, and I ended up blurting everything out to Dad. I'm a joke. No one takes me seriously because of how I look. No boys like me, no one wants to be my friend, and no one believes I can skate.
Pumpkin, you got into one of the top sports schools out there. That means you're a talented skater, regardless of what anyone else says, including me. Fame is just temporary. Look at me, once a world champion, but now just a beer-bellied man whose sole life purpose is to raise my pumpkin.
Dad.
All right, you're too strong to let these dummies knock you down. Got it?
Dad was right. I couldn't give up on my dreams because of other people's opinions. So, the next day I returned to school and ignored all the gops and jibes. On seeing Tom and Tiff together, I stared over them and carried on walking. This was the first step in cutting toxic people out of my life and learning to love myself. Which is why, when the teacher asked for volunteers for the skating competition, as Tiff put up her hand, so did I. We all know you only did that so you can face off Tiff. They could think what they wanted. I wasn't backing down. Then my phone beeped. It was a message from Rachel asking me to meet her outside. As soon as I reached her, she started asking me all these questions, as if she cared. Suddenly worried for me? Where's your sarcastic smirk? I'm sorry for the other day. Everyone was staring at me, so I had to play along with them. Trust me, I would never look down on you. Okay, I didn't expect this. Anyway, this is Alex. I don't want you to be the only one without a skating partner, so I found him for you. Forgive me? She seemed so genuine that I couldn't not believe her. I was once in her place, scared of the judgment and peer pressure, so I knew how it felt. Maybe Rachel did mean well. Besides, I'd already lost Tiff as a friend. I didn't want to be alone. I arrived home to find Tiff already waiting for me. Why are you being besties with Rachel? She ridiculed you in front of everyone. You've changed, Mindy. Do you want me to be the same and be picked on forever? And you're not a great friend either. You just want me to live in your shadow and witness how happy you are with your new boyfriend. What about you? You left me too. I felt stunned. How could she be that upset when she was the one who now had Tom? When I'd calmed down, I thought back to what Tiff had said and wondered if I really had changed. Tiff was always there for me, regardless of what I looked like, but I didn't tell her Tom and I weren't for real, as I guess it made me feel superior. I joined Rachel's group without considering how bad it would make Tiff feel. I realized that I had an inferiority complex toward my own best friend. On the day of the competition, I went to talk to Tiff, but I couldn't find her. I smashed my routine with Alex, but during Tiff's turn, I noticed that something seemed wrong. Then during her spin, I saw her lose her balance and thud! She fell hard and was rushed to the hospital. I rushed over to accompany her there, but Rachel stopped me. Why did you do that with her skates? Was that the reason why you told me to keep it a secret about you sneaking into Tiffany's waiting room? I tried to explain that I didn't do anything, but then the judge announced the results. Because of Tiff's mishap, I'd scored enough to land the last spot in the final round.
I won't work with someone who uses tricks to win. Giant girl, you're on your own.
Everyone started to groan at me, and I began to panic. Why does no one want to believe me? The final round was around the corner, but I couldn't stop worrying. As I stepped onto the ice, I spotted Alex smirking while standing next to Rachel and realized they'd played me. I stood there as still as a statue and too frightened to skate alone. Then the crowd fell silent, and I saw someone wobbly approaching me. Tom!
The rumors about me and Tiff aren't true. Mindy, I like you. So, how about it, bull girl? Will you let this ballet boy be your partner?
Confused yet touched, I nodded.
Now chin up. Look.
And in the stand was Tiff, holding up a banner while screaming, "Mindy, you can do it!" Energized by newfound courage, Tom and I fumbled through our routine. And even though we made loads of mistakes, it didn't matter, as I felt so happy to know that I had Tom and Tiff on my side, and that I hadn't given up. I came last and Rachel won, but as she's receiving the trophy, the judges had some discussion. Turns out, another student had video evidence of Rachel damaging Tiff's skates. As they took the trophy off her, she got angry and shouted, "Obviously, I wouldn't want to be friends with a freak like you. I was just using you so I could eliminate Tiff." Her words would have once stung me, but now I didn't care what she had to say, and I hurried off to find Tiff. On seeing her, I gave her a big hug, and she told me the truth. Sorry I couldn't tell you sooner. Actually, Tom is my half-brother. My dad's a famous skater. He lied that he was single, but he wasn't. He was married. He refused to be a part of my life, and Mom was too afraid to go public about what he did. She struggled with no financial help from him. I resented my dad and presumed Tom would be just like him. I never told you this, as I was embarrassed, but turns out you're right. Tom is actually a great guy. Oh, wow, now everything made sense. All these secrets had led to all this confusion, so we promised never to keep anything from each other again. Thanks to the friends that really care for me, I've learned to love myself, and I use my size as a strength. Being unique isn't a weakness, it's an advantage. And best of all, the people that matter like me just as I am. So, this is the Roomba Club. Why isn't the guy here? Was I wrong? No way, I did lots of digging. Oh, don't take this the wrong way. I'm not a stalker. I'm just doing my job. It's obvious that there's something fishy about this case. Want to know the details? Please like and subscribe. I'm Faith McKinnon, the only daughter of a private detective. That probably sounds cool, but my dad is actually really carefree. Maybe that's why he only took on enough trivial cases to make ends meet. I haven't always paid much attention to his business, though. I mainly focus on studying, so our future can be brighter.
What? What are you saying, sir? Yeah, I'm in. You can count on me. Faith, I just got a big job.
A customer had paid him handsomely to investigate this case. A girl named Selena Martinez just had an accident and fell into a coma. But there was no CCTV on the road, and the heavy rain erased all traces. The police couldn't find any evidence, so they concluded that it was a traffic accident. But Mr. and Mrs. Martinez didn't believe it and suspected her boyfriend, Oscar Davis, was involved. Thus, they had to rely on my detective dad.
Haha, looks like folks need my help after all. Me, McKinnon, can solve any case.
Conveniently, those two kids go to the same school as me, so Dad asked me to keep an eye on them. Okay, nothing complicated, so I agreed. That's why I'm here. I heard Oscar loved Roomba and never missed a class, but why hasn't he shown up today? I was looking around when a hand patted my shoulder.
What are you doing? Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you.
Oh my, am I dead? 'Cause I swear I'm seeing an angel. Look at his eyelashes framing those beautiful hazel eyes in that super touchable long dark hair.
Hey, you still with me? Are you here to join our Roomba squad, princess? If so, you're looking at the right person. I'm Zane, head of this club.
Yes, I'm Faith. I love Roomba. Well, joining this club will surely help me with my mission, won't it? But I knew absolutely nothing about this Roomba dance thingy. Gosh, how could they dance with those heels so freaking high? I tried to copy other students, but my legs were just not listening, causing me to stumble. And luckily, Zane caught me just in time. Are you good? Let me show you some basics before you hurt yourself. Or someone else. Then Zane took me aside, and we started to dance with his arms wrapped around my waist. With each twirl, I felt like he was pulling me closer and closer, and I couldn't stop blushing. Was Roomba supposed to always be like that? Then our eyes met. His gaze was so soft and dreamy and angry. Zane stopped in the middle, and his face darkened. Right at the door was Oscar. Zane immediately dragged him outside. I sneakily followed them to see they were quarreling at a corner. Drop your act already. Let me see Selena, please. You have some nerve asking to meet my sister after what you did to her. How many times do I need to tell you that I had nothing to do with her accident? Keep lying all you want, but I'll find evidence. You'll soon have to pay for what you did. Zane was Selena's brother? That meant we were on the same boat. The investigation could have been going much more smoothly if I'd known this earlier. I went straight to Zane, saying, Selena Martinez was your sister? Yeah, why are you? I'm helping to investigate her accident. Oh, really? Zane was surprisingly cooperative in helping me answer some questions for the investigation. My parents just can't help but suspect Oscar had something to do with it. He's kinda obsessed with our Selena. She'd rejected him many times, but he wouldn't stop pining for her, and eventually she gave in. But that only kicked in his possessive behaviors. He bought gifts and controlled what she wore every day. He followed my sister everywhere, even to the restroom to make sure she's safe, and climbed to her window to check her sleep every night. Jeez, that's crazy. Selena was having too much and decided to end things with him for good. But after that, she was found unconscious in an accident. It can't be a coincidence. I'm sure Oscar's obsession has turned into rage. Wow, it really was impossible to judge someone just on appearances. Oscar looked so nice, yet... To gather more information, I asked around about Oscar and Selena. Selena used to be kinda mean, but ever since she and Oscar became an item, she's like another person. Much kinder and nicer, I would say. Yeah, they were really sweet together. I was surprised to hear she broke up with him. Huh? Sweet? Are they talking about another Oscar? I even went to Oscar's neighbors and discovered that his mom was the head of the Medical and Pharmaceutical Association. All I heard were good things about him. Oh, that sweet boy. He always runs right out to help me carry groceries. He even gave me his phone number to call him when I need help. Oscar is a real good kid. Every year on Halloween, he decorates a whole haunted house for the neighborhood kids and stays out there until every last trick-or-treater leaves with a sack full of candy. Things are getting way confusing. It's like Zane and the others were describing two totally different people. Why are you following me? I looked up to see Oscar. I'm not. I tried to run, but he grabbed me. Please don't lie to me. I know why you're here, and I want to cooperate. Because I too want this all to be over quickly. Only then can I see Selena again. Okay, I should give him a fair chance and make my own judgments about this guy. And I'm also really curious to hear his side of the story. I used to be picked on pretty often, until Selena started standing up for me. She was truly my knight in shining armor. And that's when I knew I'd fallen in love with her. And she actually liked me back. And that's when she came to do charity work with me for the first time, and we happened to meet in the Roomba Club and become partners. We were happy in love. Selena even bought me gifts and planned surprise dates. Things were good. Great, actually. But suddenly she broke up with me, then got into the accident. I just really want to see if she's okay. This guy seemed very sincere. A bit silly, even. He couldn't be the one who could scheme such a hateful plan, could he? But why does nothing match what Zane told me earlier? One of them must be lying. But who? Things were becoming perplexing. But that evening, when I got home, my dad told me that he had found a dash cam from another car which filmed the moment Oscar's car hit Selena's. Case closed. Who would have thought a $15,000 case like this could be solved so easily? I'm such a genius. With this pace, I'd be a millionaire before you knew it. Huh? That's it? No, something didn't add up here. My gut was telling me that Oscar the simp couldn't be the cunning and ruthless mastermind behind all this. The next morning, I was startled by Dad's loud excitement. I'm on a headline, baby! Turns out the video had spread like wildfire on the news. But that's not all. Another part of the story was also revealed. Oscar, Dr. Davis's son, loved Selena Martinez but was rejected, so he threatened to tell his mom to cancel their new medicine's license. Selena still resisted him, so her family lost the medicine's permit and suffered great damage. Meanwhile, Oscar got so mad that he caused the accident. So there's some family conflict involved too, not just teenage love? Seeing loads of angry comments, I was so worried that I immediately ran to the Roomba Club to find Oscar. There, I found Zane grabbing Oscar's collar.
I always know it's you. How are you gonna deny it now?
Wait, stop! Upon seeing me, Zane loosened his fists.
You're gonna pay for this. I swear I didn't do it, Faith. I don't know where that video came from. Please help me.
I also felt things couldn't be that simple, so I came home to check the video again. Finally, I found something that was off. If the impact happened at that angle, Selena's left arm would have been injured, but it wasn't according to the hospital's record. Dad, I think the video of the accident was fabricated. We need to confirm Selena's condition before making any conclusion.
Well, this case is already closed. The Martinez family asked me to wrap it up as soon as the evidence was discovered.
Why such a hurry? They spent all this money but didn't want a thorough investigation? The next day, I decided to investigate myself. I disguised as a nurse to sneak into the hospital, but Selena's room was strictly guarded. I had to find another entrance. Huh? Is that Zane? Right then, he saw me and immediately dragged me into a corner, signaling me to keep silent.
Be careful, or they will see you.
What are you doing sneaking around?
I'm afraid my parents might be doing something sketchy.
Explain.
I've heard them talking with the press to keep posting those defaming articles about Oscar's family, and they even mentioned something about revenge.
So you followed them here?
Suddenly, I was forbidden from seeing Selena as the doctor said she needed absolute peace to heal, but it feels like my parents don't want me to talk to her. Come to think of it, it's also them who made me suspect Oscar from the beginning.
That's what I thought. But why should I believe you when you've been saying awful things about Oscar? Maybe you're working with them.
Last semester I studied abroad. That's when Selena and Oscar started dating. All the things I knew about them were told by my parents. Actually, believe me or not, I'm going to find out the truth with or without your help.
Seeing his determined attitude, my heart softened a little. If it's true that your parents were up to something bad, are you still willing to expose them?
If so, what they did is just wrong, and I need to know why.
Right at that moment, I got a call from Dad.
Well done, Faith. You were right. That video was fabricated.
I believe you, Zane! 3 days later, it was reported that Oscar's mom resigned due to the recent scandal. Then Dad showed up in an unusually neat suit.
You better go get ready, kiddo. The Martinezes invited us for dinner to celebrate solving the case. I think they might throw in a bonus on top of the initial amount.
My dad is quite the performer, isn't he? All right, time to solve this case. At the dinner, everyone seemed extremely happy, especially Mr. Martinez.
Thank you so much for giving us the closure we needed for our daughter's accident. No, I have to thank you for giving me such a big case. Now people will line up to have me solve their cases. Haha.
They kept toasting, laughing, and talking happily like two old friends. Then Mrs. Martinez went to get some more food for them. I turned to see Zane looking a bit sad.
I didn't expect Dr. Davis could stoop this low. She got what she deserved. How dare she say our medicine was of poor quality and rejected the license? She almost ruined our plan to make loads of money. What a wet blanket. Luckily, we got quick-witted to stage a fake accident to frame her boy.
Hearing that, Mrs. Martinez quickly ran to cover her husband's mouth, but couldn't make it in time.
Aha! So you admit everything. I recorded them all. This will be evidence to expose you in court.
We admit nothing. Check your recording.
When I turned it on, it was all static. We couldn't hear anything.
Unfortunately for you, this is the family business room, equipped with signal jammers and anti-eavesdropping devices, so you have no evidence.
Mom, stop it! Right then, Oscar walked in, with Selena on a wheelchair.
Why are you here? You're supposed to be at the hospital resting.
All thanks to my mom. She knows someone in the hospital and could help Selena get out. Or else, how long were you planning to keep her locked up?
It turns out Selena had woken up a week ago, but her parents kept it a secret. That's why Zane wasn't allowed to visit her out of fear that everything would come to light. Mom, that's not enough for you? You asked me to pursue Oscar at first to get close to his mom, but when the plan didn't work out, you then forced me to break up with him. But I've already fallen in love with Oscar for real. It broke my heart to do so. That night, I was driving in a totally lost mind and crashed into a tree. But who knows, my own cruel parents would use their daughter's accident as an excuse to frame Oscar and his family.
Oh, honey, you're saying this because you're not well yet.
No, we all know what you did. Just confess. Oscar and his mother are good people who don't deserve any of this. I love you guys. That's why I have to make it right.
You ungrateful little traitor! Everything we do for you! But it doesn't matter. A court needs concrete evidence, not just the words of a girl. I'm really disappointed in you guys. I hope that you would step up and take accountability. You could have gotten a reduced sentence, but I guess now we need to turn in the real evidence.
I held up the confession video of the person hired by Selena's parents to fake the dash cam. At this point, Mrs. Martinez fell to her knees, sobbing dramatically.
I paid you to find the evidence against the Davises, not against us.
Sorry, but we refuse to accept your money. We don't work for you. We work for justice.
Soon enough, Mr. and Mrs. Martinez saw their day in court for their schemes, and the Davises' name was cleared. After the sentencing, Oscar's mom approached me and my dad.
Thank you so much for fighting for the truth. You've saved our family's reputation. Our society needs more people who work and live for righteousness like you.
I owe it all to Faith. Things would not have turned out the way they did without her master plan. From the fake resignation to Selena's hospital escape, and even arranging a play to expose the Martinezes.
It's true that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, isn't it?
She's about to surpass my skill.
I'll let you keep this for a few more years. It's true that I hadn't been interested in my father's job before, but this case made me realize my passion for solving crimes. So, we'll see. Now all the crazy things finally settled, Oscar and Selena are back together after everything they've gone through. They deserve to be happy with each other. Is this just me, or is their story really similar to Romeo and Juliet? Except in the end, they're happy together. Suddenly, Zane walked up behind me.
Wanna dance?
Are you sure? You're the one who said I was a danger to myself and others.
Then it's a risk I'm willing to take.
I woke up in shock to find my face covered in bandages. My face! This can't be happening! Right, Callum? Tell me this is not happening! Right after, the doctor entered the room.
Miss, unfortunately, the glass from the car window has caused extensive trauma to your skin.
As the doctor continued talking, I felt myself zone out and began to panic. My face is everything! Without it, my singing career is over!
Ash, it's gonna be okay. I'll help you find a way to return to the stage. I promise.
Hi, I'm Ashley, and I had a dream of becoming a famous singer. I used to sing on the streets to collect a few dimes. Then one day, a handsome and polite man approached me.
I'm Callum, a talent scout, and I believe with your angelic voice and rare beauty, you have the makings of a star.
It was love at first sight, and not only did I gain a manager, but also a hot boyfriend. He arranged for me to perform at cafes, bars, and restaurants. It was nonstop. I enjoyed it, but I have to admit I was also, exhausted. And that's when Callum suggested that I use autotune and lip sync to save my throat.
Babe, I know this ain't right, but you're burned out, and I can't bear seeing that. You know, it's not forever. I think that way you can focus on dressing up and letting people admire that gorgeous face of yours.
Hearing this did make me feel sad, but Callum knew what he was talking about, so I trusted him, while the fire inside me to perform on a professional stage still burned strong. Then one day, he told me some unexpected good news.
No more small gigs. The famous company Dream M Entertainment is holding auditions to find their next big star. I've taken care of everything. You just need to be 100% confident in performing.
This was it. My time to shine has finally come. But then that evening, while driving home and practicing singing, I had an uncontrollable coughing fit. I lost focus of the road for a split second and didn't see the incoming car until everything went dark. And the next thing I knew, I was waking up at the hospital looking like Frankenstein and certain that my big dreams were now in shatters. After 2 months in the hospital, most of my scratches healed, but only a deep cut scar remained on my cheek. Just a few days more until the audition, and I couldn't show up looking like this.
This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Can makeup cover it? Or maybe a mask?
There must be something. But the doctor said I can't wear makeup until it's fully healed, as it might cause an infection. And if I went on stage in a mask, people would certainly raise questions. Then Callum's eyes suddenly darted to the photo on the shelf.
Ash, here's your answer. Get your sister to be your double until your wound heals.
You mean Bridget? That freak? No way! Yeah, I do have a twin sister, but we aren't close, for sure. My parents divorced when we were 7, and the courts decided I'd live with Dad and Bridget with Mom. I had a great life with Dad, as he bought me any outfit I wanted. But Bridget was a tomboy and didn't care about fashion. The last time I saw her, she was wearing all faded clothes. I guess the whole moody, loner, frown like she's constipated look was her vibe. I tried talking to her at college, but she always snubbed me. And just like that, we ended up being strangers, despite being siblings. And now you say I have to grovel her for help? No! I get that you guys aren't close, but surely you can put your differences aside for this once-in-a-lifetime chance at your dream? I suppose Callum has a point, so I agreed. Only it wasn't that simple, as I didn't have Bridget's number and she refused to use social media. You know, to match her cool, unbothered vibe. Ugh. Hang on. I remember her scowling at me behind the counter at the Yo-Yo fast food once. Perhaps she still worked there? I immediately disguised myself and headed there. Oh, there she is. I started hovering around her and explained what had happened, then asked her if she'd be my double for the audition, but she didn't bother to care. Get out the way. I can't perform looking like this. Please, this is everything to me. It's none of my business. I have work to do. See, I can't just give up like this. So I ordered food and sat there and waited for her to change her mind. It was closing time already. I was about to leave when I saw Bridget and her boss quarreling with each other. My gosh, this is why it's never good to hire teenagers. I only hired you because you begged for the job. I'm sorry, sir. Darn it. Starting today, you will work without pay for 3 months. No, sir, I need money. You didn't even pay me last month. Hey, what are you doing? Go. You can work elsewhere. Don't be here with a scumbag. What? And you? Get lost before I report you to the cops. What you aiming at? Why do you have to work here anyway? Doesn't Mom give you a big enough allowance? Don't pretend like you care. How could a spoiled girl like you ever understand? What do you mean by that? Anyway, you need money, right? I can help you. Bridget didn't answer, but I saw through her Miss Frosty persona. If you replace me until I'm recovered, then I'll pay you. A big check worth 10 times what you're making here. By the way, only 2 of us and my manager know about this, so don't worry. Then I gave her my number and told her to message me when she made a decision. She reluctantly took it, saying nothing and just left. But that evening, a message from an unknown number popped up. Okay, I'm in. You better pay me right. I immediately called Callum and told him the good news. Now it's time to turn Bridget into a temporary me. Normally, Callum and I keep our relationship low-key to maintain professionalism, and that's the same now. We're keeping it a secret with Bridget. Callum made it clear to Bridget that all she needed to do was to look pretty and lip-sync. But geez, that girl could only moan. This crop is too tight and constricting. Stop scratching like a monkey. I showed her how to stand straight and walk like a diva. And it shocked me when she said she'd never heard of skincare. No wonder her skin was as dry as the Sahara Desert, and her pores were as deep and large as black holes. No worries. The witches here will give you a magic transformation. Wow! She looked exactly like me, just without the wound. Even Callum was impressed. He instantly offered to help her into the car and drive her to the audition. I guess it made sense for Callum to keep her on our side. Now is not the time for stupid jealousy, Ashley. I disguised myself as Bridget's assistant and nervously waited backstage. The audition was such a nightmare. Bridget's lip-syncing didn't match the pre-recorded audio, and she danced like she had 2 left feet. Finally, the performance ended, and the first judge to comment was David Knight, aka the music wizard, master composer, and lord of melodies. Oh, I know this guy. He's sure a demigod in real life. Your singing was dismal, and your dancing was catastrophic. Did you get lost looking for the bathroom and wander on stage by accident? Having a pretty face isn't enough to keep you here. The judge sitting next to David suddenly grabbed the mic. Wait, he's the CEO of Dream M. You're wrong, David. Beauty is also talent. She's a diamond in the rough, and only needs a little polishing to shine. After the show, Callum was overjoyed as he informed Bridget that she'd become a talent at Dream M and would soon become an A-lister. I was so excited too that I flung my arms around Bridget, but she coldly pushed me away. Enough for today. Since then, the three of us agreed that Bridget would perform on stage while I would record at the studio. The bad side was about putting up with David, the difficult judge at the audition who was in charge of my recording session.
The only thing going for you is your face, so I hide it behind that mask.
If you must know, I didn't have time to apply any makeup. Satisfied much?
Sorry, what you say?
It was too early in the day to deal with such a jerk, so I stayed silent and focused on the session.
Your singing has improved significantly since the audition. It just still lacks some emotion.
Thanks. My debut was just days away, but things didn't go so well. Bridget had no sense of style and appeared in the fashion column worst dress lists, shaking like a leaf on stage and jumbling her words when facing impromptu interviews. So I had to set up a crash course for Bridget, but this time I taught her simple, easy-to-remember things instead of big stuff like last time. I showed her how to pair basic outfits, how to deal with the press, and most importantly, I still guaranteed her regular pay. Ash, you've helped me a lot, and thanks. Oh my, she was so awkward. But that was sweet. I could gradually feel that we were actually sisters.
Bridget, the main effort was still yours. Keep it up.
Soon, the company began to promote Bridget, and her reputation skyrocketed. All the while, my relationship with Callum took a nosedive. At previous events, Callum used to pamper me and bring me my favorite foods, but now he just brought Bridget's favorites. He never left her side, and they were always having cozy chats. So one day, I decided to talk straight to him about this. Callum, I have to admit that I feel kinda uncomfortable, as you're a bit too close to Bridget.
Babe, I got you. I have to pretend I'm with Bridget as everyone thinks she's you. I'm doing this for your own good, so stop overthinking. Will you do it for me?
I know, but I really feel insecure since I got this scar. It's like I've lost everything.
Don't worry, the scar will eventually heal. The most important thing right now is you stay calm and get through this time.
Right. I suddenly forgot that I was working for a greater goal. I tried convincing myself that they were just dedicated to their work and that my wound would be healed soon, and I could go back to being me. I still go to the hospital every week for follow-up and treatment. It's faded, hasn't it? I needed to escape, so I went to the studio to sing my heart out. I was certain no one would be there at this time of night, but turned out I was wrong. Surprisingly, on seeing me, that dude didn't shoo me away. Instead, he was actually pleasant.
A night owl too, huh? Start singing then. I'll give you my valuable opinions.
I was shocked by this approachability, but I rolled with it. David was many things, but there was no denying he was extraordinarily talented that made huge hits. I sang, and he gave me some useful tips and pointers.
I believed you'd be too haughty to listen to my guidance, but it turns out I was mistaken.
Well, I found you annoying at first, but I appreciate your help and I value your feedback. It seems there's actually a nice guy behind the ogre front.
Sorry, what you say?
I won't say it twice. Then I started humming a few lines from a song I'd written, but didn't realize I was singing it out loud until it was too late.
That song is good. Whose is it?
Actually, I wrote it. No need to be mocking.
No, I'm not at all. I didn't know you had a talent for songwriting. Come here. Let me hear the whole song.
So we sat down together, and surprisingly, our vibe matched each other perfectly. Actually, you're the first person to take my ability seriously.
Sorry?
Hey, stop pretending!
Actually, I'm not
Gradually, Bridget seemed to figure out how to act like me, and her popularity grew. She was no longer sluggish and paid more attention to her appearance. Even Callum mentioned how he could only distinguish us by my wound. From then on, Callum said Bridget could do it herself, so they went to the shows without me. This feeling is making me squirm. On the one hand, I want Bridget to do well to help me out. On the other hand, I'm also feeling a bit resentful that I was replaced so easily. I also miss the way Callum used to care about me, but I remember what he said the other day, and I know I shouldn't be acting like a child. So I tried to distract myself by doing what I love the most. Singing. Everybody was packed with Bridget's show, so this world is mine. Woohoo! I was in the studio practicing my new song when suddenly David barged in.
Can you explain to me why you're here whilst also performing on TV live?
Why are you here?
Does it even matter now? Who really are you?
I begged him to keep quiet. Then I frantically took my mask off and told him everything. I mean, everything. As I was too shocked to make any excuses.
This is insane.
I know it isn't right, but I promised once my wound healed, everything would go back to normal. Singing is everything to me. David remained silent for a while, then blurted out,
All right, if what you said is true, I will keep your secret. And one more thing. If you really like singing and songwriting, I can continue to help you. What do you say?
Yes, totally, yes.
And don't you dare lie to me. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, swear to God. Finally, it was the follow-up day. As the doctor finished the examination, I saw him frown.
I'm sorry to inform you that the scar cut's too deep. It may fade over time, but I'm afraid it won't go completely. At least in 2 years.
I broke down. This couldn't be happening. Not knowing what else to do, I decided to go and find Callum. But when I arrived at his house, I saw that he wasn't alone. Bridget and Callum were sitting together and slowly leaning for a kiss. My most precious timekeeper. There's a saying that goes, when you fully trust someone without any doubt, you'll either have a person for life or a lesson for life. You bet I learned a valuable lesson because that quote manifested itself into my life. It was the summer of 2000, before our beloved smartphones and social media even existed. Elio, Tara, and I were exploring the glorious Barcelona. Spain was our first stop on our trip across Europe to celebrate high school graduation. That's 18-year-old me. I'd always wanted a partner who I could trust with my life and stick with me through thick and thin. But the boys I dated were too childish or selfish to be considered trustworthy, except for my sweet Elio. He's always so attentive and cared for me greatly, but somehow he couldn't ease my anxiety. At the beginning, I wanted us to have a couples trip, but then I decided to have my only friend Tara join us, just to be safe. My treat, of course. Only Tara stayed friends with me after many other greedy leeches tried latching onto me for my family's wealth. Sure, I got you, girl. I was thinking you might just chicken out without me. Ha ha ha. She knew me too well. And so our journey began. Why Barcelona, you asked? Because I wanted to connect to my Spanish roots since my grandparents met, then got married over there. Hopefully, Elio and I would be just like them. After weeks of sampling Michelin restaurants, 5-star hotels, and high-end nightclubs, we visited Las Ramblas Market, and so did dozens of other tourists. Are they not seeing me intentionally? I can't suffocate between sweaty people, so I let us out of the crowd. Here comes fresh air. But hey, where are Tara and Elio? I reached for my phone and suddenly remembered that Elio had my handbag. My whole life's in there. My phone, my money, my passport. Police! Officer, please help! I'm lost and I don't have my documents on me. But why did they keep dashing their gaze to me, then to each other? Oh, they understood me. Then they signaled me to follow them, probably to the police station. What? This is a hospital. They think I'm nuts? No, this isn't happening. What do I do? Excuse me, you need help? That snapped me out of the panic attack. I turned around and saw 2 male supermodels. My. Hang on, time and place, Michaela. Turns out the guy who just approached me was Guzman. He's quite fluent in English and very friendly. Meanwhile, the cold one was Manu, who seemed to be watching me like an alien. I told him about my situation, then they led me to the U.S. Embassy. Luckily, they stayed to help me talk to the embassy staff, who I totally believe is the sloth from Zootopia in disguise. One eternity later, they said they'd help me find Elio and Tara, but it'd take several weeks. That's it? What about me? I already told them I had neither money nor passport, right? Where do I stay? How would I survive? Right then, Guzman offered me to stay at his place and work at his family's restaurant in the meantime. Huh? Isn't that too generous to a stranger like me? These 2 beautiful and helpful people could be baits, but without any other option, I had to cautiously follow them. This was the first time I ever had to be on my own in a strange place, and the fact that their home was an old, slightly shabby restaurant didn't help. Mr. and Mrs. Rios, the owners, aka their parents, welcomed and fed me. I wasn't sure if the food was poisoned or not, but my rumbling tummy convinced me to blindly trust them for now. Then they showed me my room. That's nice. Perhaps a bit too nice. especially to a complete stranger. Am I gonna get kidnapped like when I was 5? If it wasn't for my bodyguard, I'd be living in a human trafficker's wonderland now. This room's only secured by a simple slide bolt, so I used all my strength to barricade the door with this wardrobe. Whew, that'll do it. I couldn't sleep much and got up pretty early, but it took me a while to remove my barricade and get downstairs. Scratch that. Or I might give myself scoliosis. At breakfast, they asked me how I was doing. I could only mutter a few Spanish phrases from school and prayed for my Spanish ancestors' assistance, while their replies were too fast for me to comprehend. Besides, it sounded like they used a different language to communicate. Sensing my confusion, Guzman explained that people in Barcelona speak Catalan in their everyday life, not standard Spanish. Oh, right. Suddenly, I felt so alone among them. Unsurprisingly, when they opened, I was assigned dishwashing duty and organizing the storage room because I didn't speak any Catalan. Back home, I had maids and servants pick up after my every step. Literally. So working here was torture. Not to mention the hot weather here was draining me. My slow pace earned me Manu's glare, his annoyed frown, or sometimes a few words that I'm sure weren't very nice. Fortunately, Guzman was there to be the usual comic relief. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm doing.
De nada. You're doing your best, girl. Don't worry about that grumpy cat.
Still, Manu was just one of my many problems. Everything seemed confusing, from how they tell the time to the metric system. Not to mention, mealtimes in Spain were always somehow 2 hours late. I swear, I almost blacked out from hypoglycemia the first few days. But today, Manu suddenly demanded I take a table's order. Maybe they sensed my nervousness, so they pointed at the dish they wanted from the menu. Gazpacho and pesto pasta? Got it! Call me Bear Grylls. Improvise, adapt, overcome is the way to go. A while later, I was just vibing in the kitchen when I heard a commotion outside. I ran out and realized the customer from before was coughing violently. What's happening to him? I saw Mr. Rios ran up to his date, asked a few questions, and checked his half-eaten pasta. His face suddenly turned pale, and he immediately called an ambulance.
Michaela, did you, by any chance, not hear that he said he had a nut allergy?
Perhaps. He told me his food should be nut-free because he's allergic, but that went over my head. Thank God the ambulance arrived on time, so he was okay. Still, Mr. Rios had to apologize, and that meal was on the house. And me? Manu gave me a piece of his mind. Why is he angry at me? He knew I didn't speak their language, yet he made me take their order. I wish I spoke Catalan so I could fire him instantly. Guess I'll have to fire myself. Adios! I was walking around aimlessly when Manu and Guzman found me. They said they were looking for me everywhere. Manu's awkward expression was very unlike his usual cool appearance.
Sorry, you not know Catalan, I not know English. We, misunderstand. Go home, please, okay?
Now I knew this guy seemed cold only because he didn't speak English. Seeing their sincerity, I followed them back. But will I ever return home? What if I'll never see my friends and family again for the rest of my life? The next day, I went to the U.S. Embassy and received shocking news. Elio and Tara not only had already left Barcelona, but Spain. A week ago. Why didn't you inform me immediately when you found them?
Oh, we were gonna do that tomorrow. They're gone anyway.
What's so funny about that, you moron? Never mind. Burning this place down wouldn't solve anything. My world had already collapsed. What did I do to deserve this? Why am I surrounded by cruel people? My paranoia was proven right once again. I can't trust anyone but myself. I relayed the news to the Rios and asked if I could live with them longer. They reassured I could stay as long as I needed.
They can't reach you now either. They couldn't have abandoned you. Maybe they were looking for a way to help you. Chin up, Wayne. Your tiara's gonna fall.
This family's hospitality and positive energy are unmatched. Still, it saddened me that I couldn't return home just yet. A few days later, surprisingly, Manu offered me Catalan lessons. In return, I shall teach him English. He was a natural. I, on the other hand, felt like I was born with a wrong tongue. Whenever Manu got mad at me for making mistakes, I'd bombard him with questions as a distraction. Why do you use Celsius and not Fahrenheit here? Why Catalan and not Spanish? And what's up with siesta? I swear, it's like the entire city suddenly drops dead in the middle of the day. At first glance, my questions seemed to annoy Manu, but he actually answered all of them. I could see his iciness slowly melting. Time passed and my Catalan improved. Today, I even chatted with Manu's parents while working. They said this restaurant was established a few generations ago, and many troubled couples stopped by this place.
But love always prevails in the end because our food heals them all. Might sound romantic, but actually, that's because great-granddad liked being a love guru, while great-grandma wished to be a couples therapist.
Since then, thanks to Manu and my coworkers, my life got a lot easier. Every time I messed up something, they'd offer help or guidance. One time, I got lost while delivering food and was gone for a long time. But when I got back, they didn't criticize me. One of them even joked that I didn't know the area because I rarely went out. So, Guzman suggested we 3 go to the beach after work. Some vitamin C sounds like what I need. Huh? But only Manu was waiting for me after our shift.
It's just us. Guzman's with his hot date.
Guzman, you cheeky little schemer. Still, this isn't a date, right? Just 2 friends getting to know each other. I initially thought we're gonna walk along La Rambla and arrive at Barceloneta Beach, but Manu took me to Playa Badalona, which was a bit further away, but pretty much empty and splendid. Strange how TripAdvisor didn't mention this place. Manu brought out a bottle of cava, a Barcelona specialty. Wow, isn't it expensive? Are you sure I can have this?
You worked hard and deserve to play hard.
Aw, so thoughtful. He might make me blush. Then we toasted to my chaotic arrival here.
That's the stuff.
With Manu, I got to see an ordinary side of Barcelona. Not often do I get the chance to be somewhere this beautiful. I should be more adapting. Besides, if I wasn't here, I'd never get to observe this magnificent monument up close.
Leave room for Jesus!
Jesus! I mean, Guzman? He had a terrible date and came to vent. What were you thinking, Michaela? You have a boyfriend, remember? Eventually, my life here got more enjoyable. I kinda adopted the mañana mentality, so taking it slow became my motto. I now realized whoever invented siesta was a genius. People would sometimes burst into songs, as others would either sing along or dance to the music. Spaniards seem to value quality of life more than those in the States. Speaking of which, I still got homesick from time to time, and Manu's the only one who seemed to notice.
You can talk to me anytime. Rest assured, we're all happy to have you here.
Okay, I might have a teeny tiny crush on him. No, focus, Michaela. Think about Elio, your boyfriend. I wonder how he and Tara were doing. Speak of the devil, I saw them again that evening on a TV show about tourism in Marseille, France, and they shamelessly claimed to be a couple. I couldn't believe it. However, without my passport, I couldn't get to them. So I asked Manu and Guzman to go there, and they agreed.
Girl, don't worry. I'm more than happy to bring those traitors to justice on your behalf.
No matter what had happened, I'll be eternally grateful to them. My guardian angels. They returned after a couple of days with my stuff, but Manu said those 2 showed no remorse as they put all the blame on me.
The moment I saw them, I knew those 2 were beg-backing. Trust me, honey, they're penniless.
But I still had questions, so I immediately called Tara and chaos ensued. Tara said my paranoia and stubbornness tired her out, as they did Elio. We kept it to ourselves all this time because we didn't want to hurt you, but actually, it felt like a relief to not have you around. Did you know that we bonded over shared trauma? That's you. Good. I hope you 2 are happy asking strangers for money together. Tara, are you talking to Michaela? Mickey, wait! I can't listen to another word. There wasn't even any tears left in me. Manu sat down next to me.
Hey, you got rid of those traitors. Why the long face?
I'm fine. Don't mind me. I just lost the only 2 people I trust outside my family. No biggie.
Come now, it's not that bad. Give up!
What the?
Oh, oops, my bad. Don't give up. I mean, cheer up. Don't laugh. I mean it. Since you got here, you've become a lot more independent, haven't you? You're quite a strong, resilient girl.
He's right, and not just because I like him. I'd been so caught up in everything that I didn't realize I'd been entrusting my life to him, who I barely knew. I'd been relying so much on him and his family. Maybe it's not so bad knowing good people still exist. And this guy, he makes it so hard for me to leave this place. At the crack of dawn, I woke up to the deafening sound of Helicopters? That's my family crest. My parents must have sent those choppers. A swole guy in black came up to me and said my dad wanted me home because I'd gone AWOL for far too long. Then he just grabbed me and we flew straight back to America. I begged him to turn around so I could say goodbye to Manu, Guzman, Mr. and Mrs. Rios, my saviors, but my pleading was completely ignored. I was finally home and went to college, but as a different person. I was determined to socialize more and befriend new people. And no, it's not just talks. I actually moved into the dorm to be surrounded by my peers. It's been a long time coming, but I learned to open up and keep my trust issue in check. I shouldn't pass up on companionship out of irrational fears. However, I couldn't take my mind off Manu. We didn't even properly say goodbye and had no way to contact one another. So I went back to Barcelona to look for him. But when I got there, his family said he'd just gone to the airport. Turns out, he went looking for me too. I immediately got in a taxi and headed to the airport. As soon as I arrived, I saw the earliest flight to America had already taken off. That's how my time abroad wrapped up.
Michaela, mi amor, where are you?
Yes, my love.
That photo album again. I'm right here, eyes on me.
Well, I couldn't figure out why you didn't board that flight.
I just had a feeling that I'd see you again if I turned around. Call it telepathy.
Why did this fence have to be so high? Oh no, that didn't sound good. It was time to get out of here. But, I seemed to be stuck. Suddenly, a security team was blinding me with a flashlight and telling me not to move. Not that I could anyway. They dragged me down. Then the next thing I knew, I was being pushed into a chair and interrogated by security guards. But all they got out of me was silence. A few minutes later, Mr. and Mrs. Langston showed up. Yeah, they're the wealthy couple who owns this mansion. They're the people that I was looking for. I suppose I did owe them an explanation. I'm sorry for this disturbance, but it's not what you think. I saw your job advert for a housemaid, and I wanted to apply, but the guard said I was too young and refused to let me in. The thing is, my dad has a rare heart condition, and if he doesn't receive treatment soon, then chances are he won't make it. I really don't have any other choice, so please can I have the job and also 6 months' salary advance? Right at that moment, a girl my age fell into the room, peered at the Langstons, then started laughing.
Carla, this is not acceptable. Aren't you ashamed of your appalling results for the Francis Academy entrance exam? You should be studying hard to redeem yourself, not out partying at this hour.
This Carla girl just rolled her eyes at them, then wobbly walked off. I noticed Mr. Langston comforting his wife, who seemed to be in much distress at the girl's inconsiderate behaviors. So this must be their daughter then. They sure seem to take her education seriously. And she applied to my school. That gave me an idea. You know, if you want to improve Carla's academic performance, I can help you. They both gave me skeptical looks, so I showed them my academic records and told them how I was a valedictorian and had successfully scored a scholarship at Francis Academy. On hearing about my achievements, any apprehensions they had soon faded. And so, they'd come up with a plan, a risky one. They would pay for my dad's hospital fees until he fully recuperated if I took on the identity of Carla and flew to South Korea to study at an international high school there, while Carla would take my place and enroll at Francis Academy just as they wished. This deal sounded like the answer to my prayers, but I knew it would be tricky. Pretending to be somebody else in a completely different country was beyond my understanding, so I agreed to do it, but only on 2 more conditions. First, a guardian must be present, who would take care of all my paperwork and stuff. Second, after I completed the deal and returned, the Langstons had to help me get into my dream school, the prestigious GBA University, obviously. They gave it a thought, then shook my hand in agreement. It looked like we had a deal! The next thing I knew, I was in an elite neighborhood in Seoul, Korea,
Whoa! Talk about luxury! So this was what it felt like to be born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Mr. Preston dropped me off at school and repeatedly told me not to draw attention to myself. Blah, blah, blah. Oh, by the way, Mr. Preston is the Langstons' lawyer, and according to the contract, he's also my guardian. He seems oh so serious, but I guess he's okay. Whoa, this school looked so modern. The architecture was a work of art all in itself. I wandered around the endless corridors and tried to find my class. Everyone seemed quite friendly, and the class president, Minjun, even gave me a guided tour. All the students' outstanding paintings, photos, and models were displayed all across the campus. Countless classrooms of different subjects, from science to art, just made me gasp in awe. I was admiring the artwork when suddenly Minjun blurted out, "Sorry, I've got to go. Miss Lee is looking for me. It'll only take a few minutes, so wait here for me, 'kay?" Then he rushed off, so I lingered around the hall. That's when I spotted a group of girls nearby. I recognized the one from my last class. I'm sure her name was Isabella. I was about to walk over to greet them when I realized they had this one girl cornered and were making fun of her hairband. Ugh! Where did you get that horrid thing from? I suppose it must have come from some thrift shop or something. I heard that's where poor people shop. Ugh, this whole thing disgusted me. They outcasted someone just because she didn't come from ridiculously rich households like them. I knew that poor girl's feeling all too well. I gotta help her. But I didn't want to get anyone's back up and draw attention to myself. What could I do? Ah, got it! Hey, the teacher's coming. I'll stall her for you guys. Run! My plan worked a treat, as Isabella and her friends nodded at me, then rushed off. I then went over to the girl asking if she was okay. Get away from me! She flinched me off her and then ran off. Huh? I was only trying to help. As I turned around, I saw Minjun looking at me. A bit impressed, I think. He told me that the students here were divided into two groups. 90% are rich, and the remaining 10% are poor kids entering under scholarships. Most of the students are quite friendly to each other. Well, except those I just witnessed. Isabella's part of the rich kid group who think their upbringings make them superior to others. She's often mean to the 10% group as she believes they don't deserve to be here. And as you can guess, that girl they upset, she's called Susie. She's in the 10% group, and she's the smartest student in our year. What nonsense! School is school. We're here to study and should all be treated equally. Too right, new girl. I knew there was something different about you. The next day, when class was over, Isabella tapped on my shoulder and thanked me for the warning. Then she asked me to join her group for lunch. I was about to politely refuse when Minjun appeared and asked me to join him. Phew. Thanks to Minjun, I had an excuse to quickly flee the scene. However, I did look back and see that Isabella was giving this offended look. After that, Minjun and I started hanging out more. We soon became close friends, and we both decided that the dynamics around here needed to change. So, we set out to help the 10% club. One lunchtime, Isabella and her clan purposely bumped into this boy, causing him to spill food all over himself. While they laughed and pointed at him, I rushed over there, took the food, and slammed it onto Minjun's face. Minjun immediately understood my intention. Then he also took a handful of noodles and smeared it all over Isabella. Cue the canteen erupting into one big, messy food fight. Another time, the school was preparing for a cultural fair. One boy from the 10% group had this awesome idea to open a food stall serving traditional dishes from different countries. Everyone agreed, apart from, yep, you guessed it, Isabella and her snooty besties. Such a peasant! Too used to working as a waiter to serve others, huh? I winked at Minjun. Then we stayed behind and secretly wrote Isabella and her friends' names on the list of participants and submitted it to the teacher. Now, they had no choice but to serve food at the super crowded fair. The funniest part was they finally got a taste of their own medicine when the 10% group made the most of ordering them around and complaining.
Ew, this ratatouille is too bland. Add some more salt.
And this milk tea is too sweet. Start a new batch with less sugar. I have to admit, I was enjoying watching the mean kids squirm. But I guess my enjoyment hadn't gone unnoticed, as afterward, Isabella approached me.
Those peasant kids aren't at the same level as you and I. I suggest you put more care into who you choose to associate with, or you could end up being treated like they are.
Whatever. I just rolled my eyes, walked away from her, then continued to hang out with my friends in the 10% group. Isabella and her minions gave me dirty looks, but due to the Langstons' name and fortune, that's all they could do. Just like that, my high school years passed by. I had some great friends. And guess what? Yep, I was now dating Minjin. I loved being here in South Korea, and I'd even grown fond of Preston, who, despite being a grumpy gut, now felt like family to me. I mean, don't get me wrong, I missed my family back home like crazy. But Dad was getting better now, and we regularly FaceTimed. As amazing as my life was now, deep down I always felt like I was living in a dream. None of this truly belonged to me, and everything would be over as soon as I left this place. And eventually, my last week here arrived. As I was studying for my last ever exam, the SAT, I received a message from an unknown number. I know your secret. Drop out of the test, else I'll expose you. What? Who could it be? I called the number and a distorted voice answered the phone. I begged them to tell me why they were doing this, but they just replied,
You don't need to know. Just do as I said.
Then they hung up. Luckily for me, Preston isn't just an amazing lawyer, he's also a tech genius. Thanks to him, we tracked down the location of the phone. I bet you're just as curious as I am to find out who it was. And now was the moment of truth. Huh? No way! Standing there looking startled was Susie! Why would she do this to me? It made no sense. I mean, I know we weren't friends, but I had nothing against her. Why did she despise me to the point of willing to ruin my life like this? Please let me explain. Ever since you arrived here, I lost my top spot at school, which means I've also lost a full scholarship to college. My family will never be able to afford it themselves, so I decided to investigate you. And that's when I found out that you were not the real Carla Langston, and you got paid by her parents to achieve all these academic records for her. I get why you're upset, but you didn't have to blackmail me. You don't strike me as someone who would do such a thing, so it's kind of disappointing that you did. I'm not. I'm a dead end, Irene. You have to understand. This is my entire future I'm losing here. And what for? So some rich, spoiled girl can get into college without doing any of the work? It seemed like I had a lot of thinking to do. In the end, I realized all I felt towards Susie was pity. This was all my fault, and it wasn't fair for someone as capable as Susie to have her entire future ruined because of me. So I had to be the bigger person here. I decided to ask the Langstons to give Susie the spot at GBA University, which was previously reserved for me as part of the deal. I mean, no worries. With this big brain, I could easily get in there on my own, right? And so, as soon as I was done with the test, I quietly left South Korea behind, without saying goodbye to anyone, including Minjin. Susie and I boarded the same flight back to the state. She couldn't help but thank me all the way there. And, well, let's just say, by the time the plane landed, we became good friends. But things didn't all go as swimmingly as I intended. It turned out Carla was even more negligent than first thought. All she managed to get was a high school diploma with shockingly bad grades. These were now my bad grades. My dream of attending a prestigious university was over. I'd just have to make do with a community college instead. A year flew by, and there wasn't a single day that I didn't think about South Korea or Minjin. I couldn't talk to him anymore. I promised the Langstons I'd cut all ties with my life there. I mean, Susie was the exception. One day while going out with Susie, she was showing me something interesting on Facebook when we happened to scroll past a post of Minjin's, which read, "Finally I found you, the love of my life." My heart sank. Wow, it looked like he'd found someone else, while my heart still pined for him. But life still goes on, and a week after that, I was waiting for Susie outside of her college, daydreaming how this could have been my life. I saw a familiar face heading towards me. Was that Minjin? But wait! He was with a girl. Carla! Hang on, his Facebook post was about her? The love of his life was Carla? I couldn't do this right now, so I willed back tears as I took a deep breath and turned to walk away. But suddenly, I felt a hand pull me back. It was Minjin.
It's really you! I finally found you! I've been looking ever since graduation, and then my information led me here and to...
Me! Carla appeared next to him and smirked at me. Hey, who am I to stop the course of true love? So I told him your real name and helped him search for you. I mean, you're smart, so I figured you'd attend this university too. No, you messed up my grades, remember? Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore. I turned and looked at Minjin. I'm so sorry, Minjin. I wanted to tell you everything, but I couldn't. He took my hand in his and gave me this adoring smile.
I found you. And trust me, right now, that's all that matters.
I arrived to find that he'd turned his bedroom into a mini theater, complete with scented candles and glistening fairy lights. He handed me a bowl of popcorn, and as we nibbled our way to the bottom, a carefully written letter came into sight that said,
I've been in love with you ever since we were little kids. I've held back my feelings as I didn't want to ruin our friendship, but I can't deny them any longer. So, will you be my girlfriend?
How can he be so gorgeous and sweet and...
Hey, dummy! You writing that cheesy stuff again? Just drop it already. Let's go prank Mr. Weasley!
Okay, I'm coming! If only what I wrote came to life. That's my best friend since childhood, Adrian. And as you can see, I have the biggest crush on him. But he only sees me as a bro. How ironic. I'm pretty sure if I confessed my feelings to him, he'd weird it out saying it's gross and stuff. So I just wrote my dream reality down in my novel and posted it on Wattpad. I even used a pen name. I couldn't risk Adrian finding out because, help, awkward alert. Anyway, it's easier this way, as I didn't want my parents to find out either. Yep, they weren't exactly supportive of my writing career. They wanted me to become a lawyer and take over the family firm just like my dad, and his dad, and blah blah blah. They made me study hard so I'd get into this prestigious law school, but it was just so dull and my heart just wasn't into it. One day, as I was sipping a macchiato at my favorite coffee shop, a group of girls walked in chattering excitedly about a book by the new author, Agatha C. Huh? Did I hear them right? Curious, I approached them and politely asked to see the book and... Oh my god, it was my pen name right on the cover! I scanned through the first few pages and saw my words. Did this mean my book was published? Ouch! So all this was real! So, someone must have given my book to the publisher. Then it's gotta be Mrs. Jensen. Yes! She is the most respected writer and has loads of connections in the publishing industry. And lucky me, she was my mentor. Hi, Mrs. Jensen. I'm just calling to say I'm so grateful for what you've done for me.
Cecilia, calm down. What are you talking about?
The book, of course. Mrs. Jensen, my book got published thanks to you, right?
You're talking nonsense, young lady. I've barely started reading your book. So how could it have been published without my notice?
What? So, Mrs. Jensen didn't send it? Then who did?
What do you mean you can't disclose their identity? It's my book!
Miss, all I can say is that the person who brought it here claims to be the author of the book and chose not to reveal themselves by publishing it under a pen name. We, as the publisher, are legally bound by that, so I can't help you any further.
What on earth was he talking about? Some random person stole my book and my pen name? I needed to prove they were both mine. Aha! My Wattpad page! I tried to log into my account to show the director, but access denied? Oh, no. Someone must have messed with it. I was gonna use it to apply for a writing scholarship at college, and now it was all gone! As if that wasn't bad enough, I suddenly received an email from the writing competition I'd applied for, saying they denied my entry due to plagiarism of a Wattpad page. My Wattpad page! Ugh!
Sup, bro? What's with the King Kong face? Oh, come on. You'll be less of an ugly duckling if you smile more. See?
My gosh, could he just stop being like that for once? He made it very clear we had zero chance of being together. I got it, but he didn't have to rub it in my face like that. Fine then, he'd never have to see me again. After that, I was determined to transfer to another school by the next semester, one that would appreciate my writing talent. Somewhere like Eastwood Academy. It's a school full of literature records. Besides, I happen to know someone there. Lewis, the president of the literature club, and also an uprising star in the writer world. He's not only super talented, but incredibly nice too. He'd help me loads with my novels. But getting into that school would be tough. So, every day, with my game face on, I buried my head under stacks of books, while Adrian tried his best to distract me. One time, he told me to ditch class and go see the new Batman movie with him. I'd waited months for that movie. But no, I'd got to get my head in the game. Adrian didn't give up that easily, though. Only, right at that moment, the teacher appeared behind his back, yanked his ears, and gave him a ticket to the detention room. There went the Batman movie for him. Another time, he came up with a prank for Mr. Jones, the PE teacher who made him run 10 laps around the school for being late. But, sorry, the new Cecilia ain't got time for any of his childish stuff. So when Adrian gave me Mr. Jones's phone and told me to hide it away, I just calmly handed it back to him. As Mr. Jones returned to the teacher lounge, he saw Adrian pouring some liquid into his tumbler, and that's how Adrian got himself 2 detention tickets. After that, Adrian finally noticed that I had been acting differently.
Cece, what is up with you? You keep ignoring me. Are we not friends anymore?
Don't call me Cece. I'm still mad at you, okay? So, yeah, I want to transfer to Eastwood Academy. You know, Lewis's school.
Oh, I see. Stop the act. I know it already.
What? Did he know that I like him? Had he read my book?
You like Lewis.
Huh? Oh. Phew. But hang on. He really thought that? And was he annoyed? Interesting. Yep. In fact, he asked me out to dinner this Saturday.
Really? Okay then. I'll go with you. Can't trust this guy.
And so, Adrian tagged along. He kept complaining about how I dressed up all pretty for Lewis, and how he had the nerve to be late. So, this is what he's like when he's jealous? Kinda cute though. As Lewis arrived, he gave me a big hug, and I could feel Adrian's glare behind my back. I sat close to Lewis and giggled at everything he said. He immediately got what I was trying to do, so he acted along, putting his arm around my shoulder and slightly stroking my hair. At one point, I even helped Lewis take a fallen eyelash out. And oh boy, Adrian couldn't help but lunge forward to separate us. Right at that moment, I heard a familiar voice from behind.
Cecilia? And who are these young men? Lewis?
Oh, hi, Mrs. Jensen. What a small world. You know Lewis too? She didn't answer my question. Instead, she gave me a stern look, then dragged me outside.
Cecilia, what are you doing with that no-good traitor?
You mean Lewis?
Who else? He was heavily criticized and boycotted by the whole writers' community. I strongly suggest you give him a wide berth.
Oh my. I had no idea Lewis had such a bad reputation. He was always so kind to me, unless this was just an act because he wanted something, like my novel. What if he was the one who stole it? This was not good. I rushed back to my table, quickly said goodbye to Adrian, then dragged Louis away. Did you or did you not steal my book? What? No! Did Mrs. Jensen tell you that? Turns out, he used to be Mrs. Jensen's brightest mentee. Then he fell in love with her daughter Demi, and they started dating behind her back. But then out of the blue, Demi suddenly broke up with him. Heartbroken, he cut all ties with her and her mom. But Mrs. Jensen took offense at this and had been on his back ever since. Gosh, now my head was spinning. I had no idea who to trust. Come to think of it, back in my mentee months, I also lost one of my manuscripts. I sorta ran into a dead end with that one, so I didn't do any digging, but it can't be a coincidence, right? It must have been Mrs. Jensen who stole them. No way! She's an incredible writer. Why would she do something like that? There's no better explanation for this. Don't worry, I've got a plan to expose her for the stinking thief she is. He then called the publisher, pretending to be some big-shot producer, and asked them to arrange a meeting with the author of my stolen book, as he'd like to produce a high-budget movie based on it. Brilliant, isn't it? We arrived at the rendezvous in awesome disguises and waited for this to play out. Our tension rose as the footsteps got closer. And then, standing at the door was, well, Mrs. Jensen. How could you? I trusted you! Cecilia? What's going on? Oh, drop the act. There's no movie. We only planned this trap to expose you for the book thief you are. Mrs. Jensen persistently denied our accusations and claimed she was only here because her daughter arranged a big surprise for her. Then Louis and Mrs. Jensen started quarreling with each other and it all got messy. Stop! Both of you, please just stop! Demi, please explain yourself. It was me, okay? I stole your book, Cecilia. I saw it on Mom's desk. I'm so sorry. I don't understand. You don't need to steal someone else's hard work. You already are an excellent writer. No, Mom, I'm not. I've tried so hard to meet your expectations, but I just can't. I didn't want to disappoint you, so I stole your mentee's work, including yours, Louis. I was so ashamed of myself I couldn't face you after that. I'm so sorry. Louis let out a long sigh, then pulled Demi in for a hug and comforted her. Right at that moment, Adrian barged in and grabbed Louis's collar. You jerk! You were flirting with Cecilia a day ago, and now you're canoodling with another girl right in front of her? Adrian, stop! It's not what you think. Then I led him out of the restaurant. Turns out, he saw me leaving the house with Louis looking all weird, so he decided to follow us here. The truth is, I don't have a crush on Louis. I was just trying to see if you think of me as more than just a friend. Well, I do like you. Like, a lot. But I don't want to risk our friendship. I can't bear the thought of not having you in my life, so I figured it'd be best to treat you as one of the guys. Guess what? I like you too, idiot. So, what do you say? Yeah, let's give it a shot. But you have to promise me if things don't work out, we'll still be friends, okay? Promise. Then we pinky swore just like when we were little kids. Only this time, he pulled me in for the best kiss ever. Finally, my book's mine again. And guess what? It has just become the #1 bestseller novel according to the New York Times. This calls for a celebration. Adrian, will you help me with the guest list for the party? Sure, sweetie. Who do you want to invite? Now, let's see. There's my parents, who were so impressed with my independent work that they're now letting me follow my writing dreams. There's also Louis and Demi. Aw, they make such a cute couple. Demi decided to start over with her writing career, this time without the pressure from her mom. And with Louis's help, she's got a bright future ahead. And last but not least, Mrs. Jensen, who's now fully supportive of her daughter's career and her relationship with Louis. I guess it's a happy ending for both my novel, me, and everyone I care about.